Good morning, Gotham City. We are presented to you by 5 remaining people. Sorry, I lost my count. I was gonna say 4, but I'm like 5. I was like, because literally, I was like 1, 2, 3, 4. I had to recount to make sure. 5 remaining contestants of the batmantary, where we will put them in the Hunger Games and let them fight to the death, and whoever wins will be a ground champion of this arena known as the batmantary. They all thought they were watching a Batman movie, but in reality, they didn't realize they were competing for my own delicious evil game, where they're going to compete to see who's the ultimate Batman fan. They're going to be dropped with a weapon of their choice. So, and also guns are permitted. So before Matt gets the idea to use a gun, so that way he can win it quicker. So basically, yeah, good luck and let the games begin. But first up, let's introduce the contestants. First up, to my left or my right, depends, because I literally sometimes forget my left and right. Is Jacob Martin. How you doing, Jacob?
I'm doing pretty good. To be honest, I wasn't expecting to be in a Hunger Games style event. I'll probably be the first one to die, so you could just I guess get rid of me immediately. I'm sure some of the stronger, fitter ones are gonna win anyway. But
Don't get
I love Batman. I love Batman Begins, though. That's a great movie. I'm excited to talk about that one.
Next up is a guy who will try to win every match by trying to cheat as much as he can, because he knows he will literally go for the easiest weapon to use, so that way he can get his opponents out quicker. Is Matt Wyatt. How you doing, Matt?
No guns, no killing. Anyway, I'm really excited to get into Batman Begins. This movie came out 20 years ago. I cannot believe how time has flown by, because I watched this in the theater so many times, and this is like the first movie that we've gotten revitalized the genre with Batman Begins. I mean, yeah, it started off with X-Men, but it was coming off of the heels of Batman and Robin from an abomination of a film. Never thought that we were ever going to get a definitive Batman movie, but I will say that it's probably my second favorite Batman movie. I love The Dark Knight, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying that this one was more of a Batman-centric film, where The Dark Knight, as much as a masterpiece it was a little bit more of a crime film and less of a Batman movie, if that makes any sense, but that's just my opinion.
Well, your opinions are valid here, so, so we're glad to have your opinions, and they are valid. Next up is a guy who will literally hide at the end of the games until it's over, and then he will come and shank the last one, so that way he can be declared a victor. Is Ryan Cam. How you doing, Ryan Cam?
I'm doing very well. I'm grateful to be on this stream hosted by you, Mr. Elton John. I am a fan of your music, and and I love Batman Begins as well. I feel like, because Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises were both so good, it's like the forgotten beginnings of the trilogy. It's like the Dark Knight Rises, and that other one. When Batman Begins has just as much agency as the others. It's an incredible trilogy, and this is kind of like Fistful of Dollars, where it's like everyone forgets that that's the one that started it off, and everyone just goes to for a few dollars more and Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this.
And last, but certainly not least, is a guy who, as he's in the Hunger Games, he would definitely try to bargain with the killer and to bargain for his life for the kill, while he's also planning on how to kill this guy when he's sleeping. Is Kyle. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing good, 100%. I agree. But yeah, I'm excited for Batman Begins. It's my favorite Origins movie, and I have so much memories watching this back in 2005. So watching with you guys tonight, be a lot of fun reliving this memory watching Batman Begins once again. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I will say this. First off, if we're going back just before we get onto the Batman stuff, if I was in Hunger Games, I'm not gonna lie, I would literally just start giving out. I would take all the food, poison the food, and then try to give it out to bargain food for a weapon. And then when you're all eating the food, once you pass out, then I would just cut your throats. That's how I would win the Hunger Games. I've thought about that ever since I saw them. I'm like, that's the easiest way to win. Okay.
One question, Matt Murdock. What's it like to host a live stream without having a site?
Yeah,
I keep thinking this guy that's right here, this guy with the beard is sitting on a sofa or whatever. That I keep thinking that literally is me. That's how blind I am. I'm like, I thought I lost 30 pounds. I'm like, man, I look so good I lost 30 pounds. And then I look at, I'm like, is that? Oh, that's Jacob. Never mind. I still got 30 pounds. But I really do appreciate this movie. Well, here's a little backstory behind the Batman Begins for me. When I saw this movie back in 2005, okay, I didn't see it until it was already out on digital. I didn't see it because me and my uncle, there was like a theater that was like you could pay like a $5 theater type theater, and it was like a mom and pop theater. And so we had two choices. We could have went and saw Batman Begins or Fantastic Four. We went and saw Fantastic Four, and I'm not gonna lie, as a kid, I enjoyed that movie more. As a kid, I'm glad that my uncle took me to see it, because as an adult, as a kid, I would not have appreciated. I would have said that movie's boring, and I probably would have fell asleep. But as an adult, I would have probably liked the 2000 Batman Begin 2005 better, because when I saw it, because when eventually it came out on TV, I didn't like it because I thought it was boring and all this stuff because I was a kid again. But then over the years, I think it wasn't until The Dark Knight was coming out to where I rewatched it and I loved it, because then I'm like, it makes sense on every level. And then now I appreciate all three of these movies. But at the time, I just could not appreciate it because I was so young. And to me, my favorite Batman was George Clooney when I was a kid. Okay, that's how dumb I was.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's like me saying as a kid that Shark Tale is the better animated fish movie than Finding Nemo.
hey, we all have our hot takes, man. Okay, that was my hot take.
No, I don't feel that way now, but that was me when I was like 9.
If I were with you, Collins, and we had the choice between Fantastic Four and this, I would drag you by the scruff of your neck into the Batman Begins theater. Like, get in, loser. We're going to see this, a far superior movie in every fashion.
Okay, Regina George.
Weren't you like, by the way, in 2005, weren't you like 2? Like 2?
No, drag you.
Yeah. I was 10. I was 10 in 2005, but I didn't get into comic book movies until about 2010, so I didn't watch Batman Begins in the theater.
That still baffles me. It's like,
dude,
you went like
we were around the time in 2005.
like
we had a
20 years
shit
ago.
ton of big movies coming out that year. We had
I know
Revenge of
that
the
now.
Sith.
Yeah.
Dude, we had
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith, War of the
I
World.
was more into that when that was coming out. Revenge of the Sith was my jam.
Yeah.
One thing that I wanted to say before we get into and get started, and Kyle, I think you'll agree with me on this one. This is the scariest of the trilogy. This is as close to a Batman horror movie that we will probably ever get. The fear gas, that freaked me out as a kid.
Scarecrow was so good. Yeah, someone gets their ear ripped off. Remember, there was a guy just like goes, bites an ear off.
Cillian Murphy is just great in general, but here he does not get his flowers for being the best Scarecrow by a country mile.
Which was the first time that he worked with Nolan in this movie.
Yeah,
and
without this movie, we probably wouldn't have got his role in Oppenheimer, which he won an Oscar for that, didn't he?
Yep. And also, he won so many Oscars.
Yeah, I know Downey won.
Yeah, Cillian Murphy won, and Nolan won for Best Director.
So before we get started, Jacob, I want you to say the word background information, okay? Will you do the honors and say background information? Here's a little.
Oh, you want me to say it like in the...
yeah, your intro.
Oh, yeah. That's not really mine. I got it from Scott from SoundLab Studios, but background information.
Yeah. See, I need to just clip that and just use that every time where it's like, and then just have you say,
I have it. I'll send it to you.
I'm going to just, and so, yeah, here's a little of that. Okay. So do you know that Christian Bale, do you know who the second choice for Batman was? If Christian Bale had said no?
Oh,
Joaquin Phoenix?
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah,
Cillian Murphy. Wow,
it was Cillian Murphy. He was the second choice. There's an audition footage of him auditioning for Batman.
He liked him so much and said, "I really want you in this movie, though. You're not Batman. That's what he told me. He says, I just feel like Christian Bale's the better Batman, but I want you still in the movie." And he told him, "Would you want to be Scarecrow?" And he's like, "I mean, yeah. I mean, He's like, "Yeah." I mean, he's like, "I just want to work with you." So yeah, obviously.
Yeah, in a screen test of the audition, they were wearing that whole Joel Schumacher's Batman Forever costume that they took from the set and trying to act it out in the scene to audition for Batman. And yeah, it was close second it was between Cillian Murphy and Christian Bale.
And Christian Bale had a better audition.
Apparently.
I can't imagine Cillian Murphy as Batman. I think considering the movie we got, but yeah, that's a good what if.
They do have the video. You can look at that. You can literally look that up on YouTube.
I mean, have
Where
you guys
where
seen
are the
Peaky
drugs?
Blinders? I can believe it.
Can you believe that? Imagine him talking as Batman. Like, where is like saying, "Where are the other drugs?" It'd be like, "Where are the other drugs? Where are the other drugs?"
Are you trying to do a Cillian Murphy impression?
Yeah, whenever like
That
he
doesn't
gets-
even sound remotely close to that
Oh.
impression.
This
That sounds like some Shakespearean
That sounds like
actor
Tommy
trying to be
Wiseau
Batman.
fucking talking like Batman.
Oh no.
The drugs.
Oh, the
Oh,
I'm
jeez.
Batman.
Jeepers.
Tell me, it's bullshit. You better tell me.
You better
I
tell me it's
did.
bullshit.
Tell
Swear
me
to
what
me.
I want.
I got Tommy Wiseau as Batman.
We already
Oh
got
my
the
God.
Joker.
Hey.
so why not?
You know, if
You know
that
what?
thing was on streaming, I would watch that every single week, okay? Because that would be like just the freaking hilarious. I would, but instead it's just like, yeah, which I'm gonna one day buy it. I just haven't because every time I'm like, it's $20 freaking dollars for that movie, and I'm like, there should not be. That movie should be like $5. It should be. But we're about to get started. If you have the movie on digital, Blu-ray, VHS, DVD, Laserdisc, HD, DVD, whatever. If you have it on, IMAX, watch it.
You mean
4K.
you mean IMAX? That's real.
You're watching it in the theater right now. Do it, okay?
If you have, if you can also stream it on HBO Max if you don't own the movie.
Yeah,
If you don't own the movie, then what are you doing with your life?
Yeah, what
Also,
are you
before we
doing?
get started,
it's a great movie. It's one of the best Batman movies there is.
hello,
It's one of the most underrated comic book movies that is completely forgotten that no one talks about.
happy birthday, Jeannie.
Happy birthday, Jeannie.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I also love that we got Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul in here too.
Very underrated villain.
Yeah, well,
Okay,
all
look,
these things and more.
A legend.
And also, if
Saturday.
it weren't for Batman Begins, we wouldn't have got the Dark Knight. It wouldn't be where they are. This is coming from a guy from Christopher Nolan, came from the crime thriller suspense movie with Memento and Insomnia.
Insomnia with Al Pacino and Robin Williams. Like, talk about a weird.
Yeah.
I mean,
world.
I literally did not watch those movies until like later after the Dark Knight trilogy, and I watched it late in the game, and I fucking love those movies, especially Memento. Jesus, that was a mind fuck of a film.
Insomnia is mad underrated,
O'Brien.
especially.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
really think about it, it's mostly based on his movies or more about time.
Yeah, he likes to sneak time into all his movies.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan's like a modern day Stanley Kubrick.
I
Pretty
agree.
much.
Hold on, hold
I
on.
think he's better than Stanley Kubrick.
I mean, Stanley Kubrick is made. Hold on, I'm trying.
Well, to be fair, because he was totally influenced by Stanley Kubrick when he made
I can see
Interstellar.
that, especially on Interstellar. But I think I connect more with Nolan's movies than I do Kubrick's.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I gotta love Hans Zimmer score for this whole trilogy.
Yeah,
Hold
it
on
was
one second,
purely
man.
it was purely original what they did with the
Alright.
music theme.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna go get the disc and just pop it in, okay? Because they said my TV's acting weird.
Okay.
My most anticipated of 2026 is actually Nolan's new movie, The Odyssey.
Oh yeah, I'm
that,
still looking
yeah.
forward to the Odyssey.
I mean, except for Tenet, Nolan has yet to make a bad movie. Tenet is not good.
I mean, I didn't like Tenet as much as like I agree with you on that, and also Dunkirk. As much as how good it looks, I just don't think the film was as great as people say it is. I mean, everything else was great, but the story itself and the character arcs, there's nothing in there. You're just watching
I
an
don't
event. That's
hate
pretty much an
Tenet. I think
eventful
Tenet
movie.
is a great movie on an action level. It has some of Nolan's most thrilling sequences. I don't think it works near as well with its character development and the sound mixing in that movie.
There really is no character development. There
Yeah.
is none. That's the problem. There is none. It was way more heavily on spectacle, and that's what it
Yeah.
really focused on more. And which, don't get me wrong, everything else was amazing in what he did with it. But the thing is, the character arcs were not there at all. I mean, you could have put anybody in the movie. You didn't even need to put Tom Hardy in the movie. There's not much of his development whatsoever. He's just a fucking fighter pilot. That's it. There's nothing much of his character depth.
Are you talking about Dunkirk? I was talking about Tenet.
Yeah, I was talking about Dunkirk.
Y'all remember Harry
I
Styles?
like
was in that movie?
Dunkirk more than Tenet.
Yeah.
I think
But
Dunkirk is more of a spectacle movie, and I love it.
No,
for
I
that.
was literally saying that Dunkirk was heavily more on spectacle. There's no character writing at all in this movie.
Oh, I thought you were still talking about Tenet.
No,
but
I will
Tenet-
say that Dunkirk is better than Tenet. Don't get me wrong. Like I think like Tenet is my least favorite of Nolan's films.
I agree on
it
that.
is kind of bizarre that the main character doesn't really have a name. He's just called the protagonist.
Yeah, he's just called the protagonist. That's his name.
I have a burning, fiery passion for movies that go meta. There are a few that actually do it good. Tenet tried, and it just failed miserably.
It feels like he was
100%.
trying to do his own version of James Bond in a time-bending film version.
There's still some cool stuff in it, like that scene where they're on the highway and one car is going forward in time, the other's going backward in time. I'm like, and this is all practical. I'm like, how did he do that?
No, I appreciate that he was going heavily more on practical because because I think ever since I think it was like during Dunkirk, he wanted to go heavily more on practical and staying away from CG and green screens.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready. You guys ready?
All right, I'm ready too.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, 100%.
Countdown.
All right, countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Seeing the Warner Brothers logo.
You got to miss that old school logo that they don't do anymore.
I like
Yeah,
the
I
water
got it.
tower one that they do.
No, so I like the water tower too, but I kind of like the old school with this one. I like that one a lot more.
That's still my favorite of the Warner Brothers logo.
And we get the old school DC logo intro,
Yeah.
I'm not
where it's just a comic book and it's just boom.
Yeah, I
I
wonder
love
what they're gonna do with Superman with James Gunn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to change the logo of the DC intro. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is a
Well,
super
well,
underrated transition right here. The
Oh, yeah,
bat
yeah.
logo with
Yeah,
the
with the
actual
bat.
bat.
I think
Man.
that it's going to be the same DC intro where you see the old comic book of Superman like doing a chain broke like they did with Creature Commandos, and I think that that's what they're going to stick with the DC Studio intro.
Yeah.
this was a cool
This
way
is
to.
just a really cool way to do an origin story, where it's like it cuts to his childhood, but you also see his training going back and forth at the same time. I love that.
Yeah, it's literally
structure.
like jumping back and forth from present day time to the flashbacks.
That fall must have sucked.
And I thought this was a better origin story telling than most other Batman movies. I mean, yeah, sure, there hasn't been a lot of like a definitive origin story. They're just mostly just flashbacks of his own tragic past. But this one, you get more into a depth of his origin story.
Yeah, I think the only one before this that felt kind of like an origin for Batman, I think that did it extensively, was probably Mask of the Phantasm, the animated movie. But this was the first live action movie that really dived into it.
Yeah.
There's this one line from when he's at the getting breakfast. I always love what he says there.
You're not the devil, you're practice.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. I think this might have been the first movie I ever watched that had like that non-linear structure storytelling. I wasn't really used to seeing that.
But also the way they're structuring this atmosphere, it feels like you're watching the opening intro from the original X-Men movie when you're seeing Magneto in a concentration camp in the Holocaust. This definitely has that feel, and I totally guarantee that Nolan took a lot of influence from the original X-Men because that was like the blueprint of keeping this comic book characters more of a grounded, realistic world.
For sure.
Yeah, I can definitely see that with the comparison, even though two different contexts. Still.
Okay, that's a super underrated line. You're not the devil, you're practice.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
And he
I
takes
just
on
think I
everybody.
remember seeing this in theaters because, like I said, the opera stuff and the fear toxin just scared me nearly to death. But I just,
it did traumatize me too. I saw this in theaters too. I saw it so many times. It was so good.
Yeah,
I was way too young to appreciate it then.
I was literally like 12 when this movie came out, and I saw that on my own, and I was blown away how good this movie was. Even when it came on HBO on premium channels, I watched that on repeat. I even played it when I was sleeping. I'm not even gonna lie.
Have you guys
And then-
seen? Have you guys seen when they released this on? I think ABC Family, or not there, but it's like
I mean, it's possible they could have done it. I think that they did release it on ABC Family at the time.
the promo for it with Nickelback playing in the background.
What?
Oh, they did that before the
Yeah.
movie came out. They played that in the promo commercial.
Yes, I remember now.
That's a pro. They did a Nickelback song as the promo for Batman.
They played the
I'm-
song Someday by Nickelback.
Hang on,
I can
Jake.
literally share that in the DM. I know exactly where to find it.
Hang on.
I can't believe that's in the promo. Wow.
I'm finding it now.
That's like doing a promo for The Dark Knight and doing Dancing Queen by ABBA. I was like, that's just so random.
Yeah.
And I don't hate Nickelback, but it's just the weirdest.
It was
thing
out of
watching for the
place. It
first
didn't make
time.
any sense because it feels like WB was just trying to replicate from fucking first Spider-Man movie when the lead singer of Nickelback was playing for the song for the soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
And they were trying to replicate it. Like, hey, why don't we just put Nickelback as for the promo for Batman Begins?
Yeah, Jacob, I just sent it to you, so you
right.
can watch it later.
I'll watch it after the stream.
I did love that the part that Ra's al Ghul's introduction made a really great impression of his character introduction, and at the time that they were keeping a secret of his true identity.
Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
I remember they spoiled it in the IMDb for his real name.
Oh, no.
Well, an action figure.
The action figure, he was just called the card. He wasn't called Ra's al Ghul. They spoiled his name, Ra's al Ghul, in the IMDb.
Considering what all is known about Ra's al Ghul in the Lazarus Pit, I wonder if there were like any tentative plans to actually do the Lazarus Pit in this. Probably not.
I mean, I
but
think they originally wanted to do the
sure.
Lazarus Pit, but like I think it was like during the time when they were doing the Dark Knight Rises, and they were saying that Liam Neeson was going to come back for the third movie, and I think they were speculating like, hey, what if he comes back in the Lazarus Pit? But then they did not go forward with it. It was just a hallucination that Bruce Wayne was going through.
And I also love that, that Gary Oldman came Gordon. That was another perfect casting.
Oh yeah, Gary Oldman, what a great casting! I didn't even recognize him at the time when this movie came out. I didn't even know that was actually the actor because I remember when from The Fifth Element, and then I watched the Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban when he played Sirius Black. He was totally unrecognizable. That's how good of an actor Gary Oldman is.
I remember I was shocked when I found out all the different roles Gary Oldman's played over the years because I would not even when I first saw this, I didn't realize Sirius Black and Commissioner Gordon were the same actor.
Yeah, in which this movie came out a year after Harry Potter 3.
Yeah.
Considering Bram Stoker's Dracula, Max Zorin from The Fifth Element, like Gary Oldman is, and Gary Oldman's a bit of a chameleon, like Darkest Hour as well.
Yeah,
oh,
where he
dude,
was Churchill.
What a great cinematography that they did when they were shooting principal photography, the shooting in the ice glaciers. That was beautiful.
Oh, yeah, really good camera work.
A man with a very unfortunate name in Wally Pfister, but man, what a talented man.
Wally Pfister, yeah.
They did put out a movie. Have you ever played the movie tie-in game from Batman Begins that came out on the PS2 and Xbox?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, that game slapped. I played it countless times when that game came out because this was like prior to the Arkham games. Like WB games took that idea and it's like, hey, we can make a stealth game, a fighting game for third person and make it into the Arkham series and create an original story. Like that was literally that game was literally the blueprint of the Arkham games.
I think the only person I know with a more unfortunate name is the man who found and managed Iron Maiden. His name was Rod Smallwood. Yes.
Oh,
okay.
And getting Michael Caine as well too is cool.
Michael Caine, yeah.
As Alfred.
And you think Morgan Freeman also is Lucius Fox.
That too. Yeah.
I'm looking at him right now. Ken Watanabe. And then this movie too is who we thought was Ra's al Ghul.
Whoever
the fake version of Ra's al Ghul
director was, they did not get paid nearly enough for their talents for this.
My name is Morgan Freeman.
My name.
All right,
He's
all right,
crazy.
Flick, calm
And
down.
Ken Watanabe, he was not really that famous at the time when he was cast in this movie. Like, he was not a very well-known name at the time.
No.
He must have
Yeah,
done
this
a
is before
few.
because he was also in Inception from
That-
Christopher
Yeah,
Nolan.
yeah, which
And
that was
then-
back in 2010. Yeah, that was like after The Dark Knight.
Oh,
Yeah.
Inception.
I
And
would
then he
do
was
like
in
a leap of faith.
2014 Godzilla. Oh, with the second fight.
Oh yeah, he was in The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise. I remember.
Oh,
yeah, he was
yeah.
definitely in the last.
You know, the
Wow.
studio wanted Jake Gyllenhaal as Batman. That's what David
Jake
Gore said.
Gyllenhaal.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that too. Yeah,
That would have
Joss
been
Whedon- even
interesting
Joss
if he
Whedon-
was Batman.
even Joss Whedon
Right.
was pitching the idea of to do the reboot of Batman, and they rejected it.
Oh,
And
wow.
tells me he would do other things in the comic book world, just not in the way that anyone would have
Not
imagined.
the way that it probably should have been. Well, he did the Avengers very well, but
yeah.
Justice League, we don't talk about that one.
Yeah, that was a horrible circumstances and that he was put into that shit, and it was so stupid. And and
Yeah.
his behavior on set was so unacceptable for what he did.
Unfortunately,
100%.
yeah.
But I will appreciate that what he did with the first movie of the Avengers. Like, that became like the ground standing of the whole golden age of comic book movies at the time.
And Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron slammed.
Well,
the
Age of
ball.
Ultron is a
Rated in
movie
this
that not a
house.
lot of people talk about. People are like, hey, we can forget
Ultron,
about
that's
the second
actually
movie.
my second favorite Avengers movie.
I mean,
I mean,
I like
it's
the
not
movie.
as
I
good
liked
as the
it. I
first
liked it, but I
Avengers
just don't
movie.
think it's that great as the first one.
Yeah, I still like it for what it is. It still has some great character moments and action. I think it's more overstuffed compared to the other Avengers movies.
It was just overstuffed with spectacle and just more of
You know
the
what's
same
crazy?
thing, except that it's just long.
My favorite thing about the movie is the length of the movie. I'm like, the runtime should be exactly how long a superhero movie should be. It shouldn't be like 10 minutes. It shouldn't be like an hour and 10. It should be like the same length as Age of Ultron.
Well, how
because
long was Deadpool? How long was those Deadpool movies? They were under 2 hours.
Deadpool 2 was longer, and Deadpool 1 was actually pretty decent, though, I will say.
Well, how
Also,
long
I
was
just don't. I
Ultron?
not everything needs to be long or short. It just depends on if it's the right length and the
I will
right
say
good
X-Men
pacing.
the
That's all that
movie-
matters.
X-Men the
Even
movie
X
and
Men was a lot
Spider-Man
under
movie.
2. Was like nearly like a 2 hour movie for X Men. The first
I like
one.
X-Men 1 has the perfect runtime, like X-Men 1, but that means that the story though worked compared to like some movies you need an extra hour, but they're like we're too
Yeah.
afraid.
And
Yeah.
I think, I think having the shorter runtime, I felt like hurt X-Men: The Last Stand, considering the build-up that movie was going for. They rushed so much plot development, character
to be
development,
fair,
that
like,
it felt like
Well, to be fair,
that it
the whole
felt
movie
pretty
was completely-
underwhelming in comparison to the other movies.
But yeah, but the whole thing was rushed for the third film. They rushed in to get Brett Ratner to direct it at the last minute, and it just was a big mess.
They were shooting in August of 2005 when they had a release date of May of 2006.
Ouch.
They just did not take their time to properly make the third film well, because originally it was supposed to be Matthew Vaughn was supposed to be directing the third film.
Yeah.
I just want to take a moment to shout out the actor who plays Thomas Wayne here, Linus Roach. Like, unfortunate name, but he did a great job here. Like, the
Yeah,
Why Do
I
We Fall
agree.
So
Did you know that
Hard?
he played the antagonist? He played the antagonist in that Nicolas Cage movie,
And
Mandy.
Mandy?
Remember him?
Great
Oh.
film.
Yeah.
What movie was this?
Mandy.
Oh, yeah, Mandy.
Yeah,
that
Richard
is right,
Richard
yeah.
Drake.
This is
Yeah.
probably the only time you'll see like a cleaned up Gotham City, and then it's like the Thomas and Martha Wayne get killed. It's like it goes downhill after that.
Remember this train, because it's not coming back for the Dark Knight.
Yeah,
No.
because some of the train was definitely done in CG, of course, and they had it added in, tweaked it in post. But then most of the time, you're not seeing any of those CG trains or any of that stuff. It's heavily more shot in Chicago,
Yeah.
just like they did with Man of Steel and BVS. They were shot in Chicago for Metropolis.
Even with the CG that's used in this movie, it's blended in so well that it's done seamlessly that it does feel like it's really there. And I think those are the best type of visual movies where you don't really focus too much on how they pulled it off visually.
I agree. Yeah, for sure.
Dude, the 4K remaster for the Dark Knight trilogy was outstanding. What they did.
I'm about to get that 4K one. I haven't checked it out yet.
I did. I watched the 4K trilogy of the Dark Knight.
Awesome.
Even Interstellar too, like that looked really good.
I don't know why, but this feels like the most
No.
realistic Thomas
Moments.
Martha Wayne shot ever in a movie, because every time I watch it in movies, it's just kind of like, eh. But then this is the only one where I'm like, this actually feels like real.
Well, this one because they're more developed. That to be fair, because they were more developed and more fleshed out than most other iterations. They were just more extras, and that's about it. The setup for the kill for the flashback. But this one, they're more fleshed out and more. There's more context.
He doesn't try to punch the shooter like in BVS, where he's like,
he thinks he's going to throw a punch.
Oh,
And you had to get Jeffrey Dean Morgan in there, and you had to have Laura from two actors from The Walking Dead.
And you had to take like 3 weeks to film it because it was such slow motion. It was like
in a slow mo.
That's excited for you.
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
I think
yes.
they had an idea that they wanted to keep like Jeffrey Dean Morgan on as Thomas Wayne if they ever wanted to do the Flashpoint Paradox at that
Yes,
time.
Mr. Snyder, you did 300. We get it. Talk about something else now.
yeah, for sure.
It feels long because it was in slow mo.
Isn't that like half the runtime of Snyder's Justice League? It's slow mo, like Lois Lane walking in the rain to go to a funeral. It's like, okay, like, why does this need to be slow mo? I'm not sure about that.
That's what you want to return to, Branch Snyderians? That's the thing? Okay.
Not a knock against that movie. The Snyder Cut's awesome, but I still love poking fun of his little Snyderisms.
For sure.
My aunt just watched Rebel Moon for the first time. I still haven't seen it, but she watched it and she said it was pretty good.
You're saving yourself some pain, dude.
I still haven't seen it
I
either.
got merchandise for Christmas that year. The movie came out. I got merchandise from the movie. I'm still sitting on a bunch of Rebel Moon stuff. So if you guys want to make me a bid on it, just let me know.
I'm going to send you a YouTube video about how to spend your money wisely.
I did. I got it for Christmas. I did not spend a dime on any of it. I got it for Christmas.
I'm still sending you the video about how to spend your money wisely. Because
Especially on games that you just frequently buy.
Okay?
Like, hey, I got to get this game, like Suicide Squad. I got to get the gold edition, and like, or Sea of Thieves.
So me and, by the way, me and Ryan are trying to buy like about 2,000 pounds of a Sydney Sweeney soap. So if you guys,
that's an actor I always forget is in this movie. Rutger Hauer from Blade Runner is in this movie.
Dude, he played Morgan Edge in season 3 of Smallville.
Yeah,
and they.
Yeah, you really felt like Bruce's pain when he went through the tragedy of losing his parents. That it kind of felt like it was better executed than this version.
And they will be lost to time like tears in the rain.
What did you think of Katie Holmes as Rachel, as the adult Rachel?
That's like the one casting is like kind of Like, I don't think she's a bad actress, but compared to the other actors in this movie, she falls flat. And that's why I have no problem that when they recast her in The Dark Knight, because Maggie Gyllenhaal, I thought, gave a better performance when we get to that movie.
I think people have forgotten all about Katie Holmes when they watch The Dark Knight. Like, because you'd be surprised that so many people went into The Dark Knight without watching Batman Begins.
Some people say
Maggie Gyllenhaal, her death in that movie always scares me, because it's like, it's okay, Harvey, it's okay. And like her sentence doesn't even finish, and then
yeah, but that felt like it added more stakes. That are some of the characters that we were attached to. They're not safe, and it added, and it worked. And the moment it blew up, when she couldn't finish her sentence, your fucking heart stops. Like, what the fuck?
It's like I'm still invested in the story with Rachel, but I think this movie would have been even better if they had cast Maggie Gyllenhaal from the beginning.
They originally wanted to get Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Which, by the way, did you hear that Christopher Nolan actually cast Rutger Hauer because Christopher Nolan loves Blade Runner, and he actually got a screening of the original cut of Blade Runner, and he actually, before they shot a single frame of film, he made the entire crew and the entire cast show up and watch Blade Runner, the whole movie, including Rutger Hauer.
Is this the OG cut where like there's footage from The Shining in there and Harrison Ford is narrating over the top of the end? That one?
Yes, he showed that.
I saw that one. I saw the original theatrical version of Blade Runner.
I've only seen the director's cut of Blade Runner.
If you watch the final cut, it's like arguably the definitive version.
Yeah,
There's
that's the
no
one I've seen, the
narration.
final
none of
cut.
that.
I've never seen the original cut.
Nolan
either.
showed them the whole movie and said and then he showed them that movie and he showed them Superman the movie and said we're gonna make Batman like this. And which they were just so confused about the Blade Runner. They said they were so confused about Blade Runner. I said I understood the Superman the movie, but they were very confused why Blade Runner though.
Probably more so the visual aesthetic, especially the griminess of Gotham City.
I'm thinking maybe it's because like the corrupt, like in Blade Runner, the corrupt corporations control everything. Maybe it's like the corrupt individuals control the city. So
yeah, it's like for the majority of this movie, you don't know Liam Neeson's the villain in this movie. So I think the first time I watched Batman Begins, I'm like, oh man, it's awesome seeing Liam Neeson in another mentor role. It's like this and Qui-Gon Jinn. It's like this is perfect for him.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I didn't know he was the bad guy. I'm like, why didn't they keep Ra's al Ghul as the bad guy? Why did they make like Henry Ducard as the bad? But I'm like, I never understood the twist. I'm like, oh, he really is Ra's al Ghul. Okay, well then that makes no sense now, because Ra's al Ghul is not a white dude. His name is Ra's al Ghul. Like, he's not a white guy.
Bruce
He's supposed
had
to
to
be
take.
Middle Eastern.
Bruce took the plunge.
For sure.
Yeah.
That
I've always figured that they were going to make him the main villain. Like I feel like that it made more sense even before I seen the movie. I saw the promos.
Iron Man said, "Hey, you know what? We should do this again. We should do this, the Batman Begins twist, and like, but we'll have like a mentor that becomes. Hold on, I got a phone call. Hold on.
Which it wasn't really the best plot twist in Iron Man 1. You saw them coming from a mile away.
Then again, I was like 13 when I first saw Iron Man, and so I was like, oh, okay, that happened.
Yeah.
But now
Like,
it's
okay.
yeah, it's kind of obvious that he's the bad guy.
I always love this dialogue between Bale and Neeson here.
Yeah, I did like when we got a little bit more character depth with Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
Because basically the League of Shadows are the cult. They're all about like eradicating the corruption.
Yeah.
Right.
I actually think The Dark Knight Rises, because The Dark Knight Rises expands more on the League of Shadows and Ra's al Ghul. I think Dark Knight Rises makes this movie even better.
I agree.
And
I did love each of the shots at nighttime when they're in the fire, like the way that they filmed it in the whole lighting effect just looks great, which we don't often get kind of lighting like this today.
You know, it's weird if you get rid of the Dark Knight, it feels like this is a duology, like Batman Begins, and then Dark Knight Rises. You know, it feels like the Dark Knight. Even though I think the Dark Knight is the superior film out of the three, I do feel like the Dark Knight though is the odd man out of the three, because it's like it's so different from the other two movies. Where the Dark Knight Rises feels like it belongs as a sequel to Batman Begins, versus the Dark Knight, which feels like it's its own thing.
Yeah, I do agree.
I don't know if I fully agree with that, because the opening of The Dark Knight Rises would not make sense without the Dark Knight, with Batman being underground and covering up for the corruption of Harvey Dent's crimes.
Well, I'm saying you need the Dark Knight, but I'm saying like you could technically, if you wanted to skip the Dark Knight.
Oh yeah, you could have taken out the whole Harvey Dent thing and wouldn't have done anything different, because it still moved forward with the League of Shadows that was carrying over from the first movie. Because the Dark Knight was literally a true standalone movie that you don't even have to watch the first movie, because you'd be surprised. You would not get lost and confused, because they don't acknowledge what happened in the first one as much.
Which I do like the Dark Knight Rises more than the Dark Knight, only because I just love Bane.
I did not like the Dark Knight Rises. I think that was one of the weakest comic book movies.
Oh wow. I think that, The Dark Knight Rises Batmantary is going to be a divisive one, it sounds like.
Oh, man.
I mean, there's things to love about it, but it's just like
Matt,
something all over the place.
Sucked,
and
okay?
the villain sucked. The Bane sucked. He was intimidating, but he was a terrible written character in that movie.
I'm definitely in the camp that loves Dark Knight Rises, but that's just me.
That's fine if you love it. I'm not shitting on you for loving it. But for me, I just did not.
You know what, Matt? I gotta tell you something. What you know what I think about your take on the Dark Knight Rises?
Here it comes.
Who cares?
I think that will be a total reverse.
I knew it.
I knew it too.
Actually, it's kind of the reverse for you.
Who cares?
All right, now we're Katie Holmes in the movie.
You know what? To be fair with Matt and Matt's agreement, I will say there are some plot holes in that movie. I mean,
Oh, there's
I will
some
say.
major plot holes in that fucking
That I
movie.
can agree.
How
And also,
Batman got back
you
to
barely get enough of screen time with Batman in the movie. He's spending time just rebuilding his body from his injury, and then you just have too much over exposition all over the place. And the villain, the plot twist was completely predictable, and it was stupid the way they handled it.
The only thing I don't like in the movie is like right out of nowhere, Catwoman shows up and shoots Bane. I'm like, I was waiting for Batman to make that blow, but okay.
And also with the nuclear explosion, he survived it. Like, dude, you fucking would have been vaporized. You were no way you would be able to get away from the blast zone.
He ejected them.
Yeah, but you were close to the blast radius. Like, I'm sorry, you would have been incinerated.
Right. Well, you know what? When we get to Batman and the Dark Knight Rises, we're gonna have the hottest debate ever. It's gonna be so hot. It's gonna be like Trump Elon, okay, versus Elon debate.
Okay, no, don't even start comparing.
I don't know if I want to go into the political joke right now.
You see what he does right there? He always goes too far with that political joke.
You know
what? That's actually relevant today. Okay, in a couple weeks, it's not gonna be relevant. That's why I wanted to go for it. Like, that's gonna be funny.
Yeah, people in the comments were like, "Okay, unsubscribe to his channel."
Team Wyatt versus Team Collins.
Kyle,
Which one are you?
out on this one. Has Richard Brake ever played a good guy? Like, Kyle, help me out. I don't think he has.
Fuck. Oh, let me see.
No, for the most part, he's been bad. Was he good at Mandy though? This character,
No,
or was he bad?
I'm fairly certain. I'm fairly certain he might have been like.
Yeah, he was. He was in the Monsters. In the Rob Zombie Monsters movie, he's the scientist who makes Herman Monster.
Oh,
and he's the disco vampire.
Oh yeah, and in Halloween 2, he also was he a bad paramedic that he gets killed too, wasn't he?
Well, in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, he's making a lot of he wants to have necrophiliac jokes and stuff.
So he is bad then.
So I guess see, I've always had an issue with this scene. What was that lady's end goal? Oh, you're gonna go and shoot this guy in the heart and kill him?
No, she was paid by Falcone to kill him in public.
You're going to prison for the rest of your life. I mean, I don't.
Well, no. Here's the thing: she can always get bailed out of jail. Remember, Falcone owns the fucking city. It's full of corruption. They always find a loophole.
Jacob Martin, does Christian Bale's hair here kind of look like the Beatles haircut, or am I just crazy?
He looks like an emo Bruce Wayne from Spider and Bully Maguire.
But to
be fair, Bruce Wayne is an emo.
He'd be breakdancing right now.
But to be fair, Bruce Wayne is an emo. Like, he's always been an emo.
You want to know what the funny part is? You know, I believe Katie Holmes is in her 20s because she is in her 20s. But I don't believe for a second Christian Bale's in his 20s.
No, he was in his early 30s. He was in his early 30s.
Yeah.
It's Smallville syndrome.
Yeah, this came out during a weird time because this came out around that time when Tom Cruise was in a relationship with her and he was jumping on Oprah's couch. So it's like, I was reading the Wikipedia.
Or when he said, like, I can fly.
Some people thought Batman Begins was going to lose money because Katie Holmes was in it. But,
and also, it came out around the time with Tom Cruise's War of the Worlds with Steven Spielberg. Yeah.
You know what's another good actor? The guy who plays Carmine Falcone here, Tom Wilkinson.
Tom Wilkinson. That's another actor I forget is in this movie.
Thing is, Falcone is never mentioned in this trilogy again after this.
No, he was a one and done character.
Well, actually, they do say his name in The Dark Knight, where he says, "With Falcone being in Arkham, someone had to take over."
Oh, Harvey Dent they name dropped it in the courtroom with Harvey Dent and like doing the whole case.
Yeah.
T-off's at 1:30, more than enough time to put you away for life, Sally.
That's still one of the coolest things when he punches the guy in the face. When he punches the guy, pulls a gun on him, and then he says, "If you want to kill a public servant, Mr. Maroney, I recommend you buy America."
I have a sworn statement. He's like, I have a sworn statement from you that this guy, Salvatore Maroney, is the new head of the Falcone crime family.
Maroney? He's a fall guy. I'm the brains of the organization.
Hey,
We've all seen The Dark Knight too many times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just
I
wait,
got
yeah.
it for Christmas of 2008. I rewatched the DVD over and over again.
You know what really pissed me off is when like fucking Scarecrow was owning it for a brief second in that movie. He was just there as a cameo, then never gets mentioned after that movie, except for The Dark Knight Rises, where he was another cameo.
And they don't even wear the mask. I'm
fine,
like, dude,
fine.
he could have at least wore the mask, but I understand Christopher Nolan does not like the mask. He has made it clear several times in interviews. I didn't even want to put him in the first movie in the mask, but it was David S. Goyer who convinced him you have to put Scarecrow with the mask.
Which David S. Goyer, he had written the Blade trilogy.
He even said, do you know how he got the job? Do you know how he got the job for Batman Begins? He went on a tirade during Blade Trinity saying he hated Batman so much because he says all the movies are the same. It's Batman like with a rubber suit on fighting crime in like goofy ways. And so then the Warner Bros. Is like, all right, well, how would you make a Batman movie? And he's like, all right, I do like this. And I would make it more about, and then because at that point, I think the Walking Phoenix Batman movie had fallen through.
Yeah, Batman Year One.
That was the one Darren Aronofsky was supposed to
Yeah.
make.
He was
Yeah.
he was attached to direct that film.
Talk about a missed opportunity / dodged bullet.
Because we wouldn't get this
Hey, I'm
movie.
just like,
Because
hey,
basically, this is basically a year one version.
I'm Batman. There's a walking face like, hey, I'm Batman. Hey. He's gonna be dancing down the stairwell doing this in the bat suit. With a cigarette in his mouth.
Yeah.
I did like the scene
I can't
where
imagine Walking Phoenix as Batman. So
I think he would have done a great job if he were to play Batman. He is a great actor. I mean, it's hard to imagine now.
yeah, especially since he played the Joker.
Yeah, especially
The first one, the first Joker was
it was a
he
masterpiece for the first one. The
Oh,
first
yeah.
one was a
And the second
masterpiece.
one,
I
they-
loved
I
it.
never
They
saw Joker 2, but I know
I
the
haven't either.
saw Joker 2. Me and Ryan did a whole entire watch, literally road to Joker 2, and we stopped at the last two Joker movies.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, we need to finish that at some point.
Once the wounds have healed for Joker.
I have a very bad habit of starting things and just never finishing them.
I do like the old hobo guy with the coat.
I did like
Yeah.
the scene with Falcone where he's learning now that there's much more to this, that he has a lot to lose, and he's like he needs to understand the criminal minds, and that's why he runs away and going on soul searching.
I like the line, nice coat.
Like
Yeah,
now
I like that right
like
on
he
the-
needs to know what it's like to be like the lower class, because he's the richest man in the world, and he needs to know what it's like to be on the other side.
He needed to go on that spirit quest and like be
Oh,
like
the
the
story
prodigal
here.
son returning and all that.
It's funny that he was able to sneak on a shipping container on that ship. He was able to sneak onto that thing.
And the score here is perfect too. Like,
Yeah. Shout out to Hans Zimmer and the other one people forget, James Newton Howard co-scored this movie with Hans Zimmer.
I always forget
They
about
did.
that.
Both this and The Dark Knight, it was the two of them. And then Hans Zimmer scored the third one.
I believe in the last 5 years with Bruce Wayne, he's probably had a lot of fight and training, but he hasn't properly been trained by the League of Shadows. But he had proper training for doing like jiu-jitsu and kung fu fighting or martial arts.
for sure.
I thought that's kind of funny. It's
Like,
like,
he allowed himself to get caught. He did it on purpose because he wanted to understand the criminal minds.
and it was stealing his own stuff.
Yeah. Tell that to the guy who owns these.
Mustafa Nyol?
That's such a good line.
And then this is kind of foreshadowing to later on in this movie because the
toxic
the drug that he's sniffing in this movie that's part of this training montage is the same one that the Scarecrow uses.
Yeah, it was a hallucinogen. It's a toxic hallucinogen from the blue flower.
I love how he finally outsmarts Ra's al Ghul in this sequence.
He did. But he has to face his fears too.
For sure.
What a great visuals that they did. for when he was under hallucinogen.
This is why I think this movie deserves more love, because it does stuff that the other movies just don't.
Yeah, this one has more of a psychological feel to it, with like the drug that's causing these people having.
It almost feel like
hallucinations
it
of
almost something
their
if you going into a fucking trance and fucking hallucinogen. It feels like you're watching A24 on fucking acid trip.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of A24, they're in the run to pick up the rights for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a
there's
hit
like
more.
four other
Good.
people are like. So is
It's-
Osgood Perkins wants it, Glenn
Oz
Powell
Perkins,
wants it,
A24.
and Blumhouse.
I think it's Neon is one of them, and the fourth one I'm forgetting.
Jordan Peele.
I could definitely see Neon taking the rights
Oh,
to the Texas Chainsaw.
If
that
Neon
also
did a
Glenn
Texas
Powell?
Chainsaw Massacre, boy, that would just that's
Yeah,
appointment viewing right there.
I agree.
But if A24 takes it, that's a win. Like they're actually gonna do it right for Texas Chainsaw.
For sure. It needs it.
I don't want Blumhouse anywhere near the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I just they make shitty movies, and they only make a
Not
couple
really.
of
They
good
didn't make shitty movies.
movies. Out of 20 movies they make a year, like 2 or 3 are good. They made a movie about a haunted swimming pool.
What was it, like a night? Was that a night
swimming
swim?
Yes.
Yeah. I can't defend that movie. That movie's horrible.
I never even watched. I've never seen it.
Whenever my
It's
cousin
on
was
some
on
bad
here, we were
execution.
interviewing my cousin. Remember when my cousin was on here and he said, remember he told us off camera, he says, my best friend she worked on that movie. That was her movie. She directed that. And then me and you were like, oh shit.
I watched that last year. I wasn't a fan of it either.
Yeah, sure. They haven't made a lot of great movies, but they have put out a lot of few damn good movies for Blumhouse production.
Oh, like the AI movie?
No, The Black Phone.
The
The movie Get Out with Jordan
Invisible
Peele.
Man 2020.
And also Drop, which I actually really enjoyed. Drop. I thought that was a really damn good movie.
Like they get 2 or 3 movies.
And
then the rest of
Paranormal Activity. They did the first Paranormal Activity.
Yep.
Speak No Evil. Sinister.
Oh yeah.
Get Out would like to have a word.
Happy Death Day.
They release like 20 movies a year, and then like 2 or 3 are really good. The rest, like you get 5.
And they put up Whiplash.
That's a good point too. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
they put out a lot of stinkers, but there's been more good ones
That's
too.
why I say like they'll release like 20 movies, 2 or 3 of them will be really good, and then the rest of them.
But also, it's a big house of a fucking production. It's a big fucking production studio.
You guys ready to have your minds blown? They produced the live action Gem and the Holograms movie.
I believe
What?
that. I 100% believe that.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's wild.
I know. Oh, I know.
Blumhouse?
I watched the trailer too. I was like, oh god, yikes. A good thing the director had learned his lessons when he made that movie. Then he actually did better from his next movie, like Crazy Rich Asians and In the Heights and Wicked.
John M. Chu directed that Jim movie? I didn't know that.
Yep.
That he directed Wicked and Crazy Rich Asians, In the Heights.
Wow.
Even directed G.I. Joe Retaliation, which is a movie in itself.
Which I hated. I hated G.I. Joe Retaliation. That movie was garbage.
That's the second one.
Mad hate is a strong word. I thought the movie was fun. Rise of Cobra.
That's fine, but I thought it was awful.
Out of the 3 G.I. Joe movies, that's the only good one out of the 3.
That's
Like,
true.
they made 3.
The animated one.
They would have made a third one if The Rock chose Hobbs and Shaw over G.I. Joe.
And he made the right choice.
There was an animated G.I. Joe movie with Burgess Meredith voicing the main villain Globulus. That was a lot of fun.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah, I've seen that.
Which? Can you? I think honestly, he kind of literally. Remember, he was going to direct He-Man at one point. He wanted Channing Tatum because he had a great relationship with him on G.I. Joe too. So they wanted Channing Tatum to play He-Man.
He had the body for it. I can see it.
I was actually looking forward to that. Then it just fell apart because he wanted to do Jim and the Hologram over He-Man.
Wrong move,
wow.
Mr. Chu. Wrong move.
Yeah. 100%.
You think?
But we're still we're actually gonna get one for a He-Man movie.
He chose Jim in the hologram over He-Man. He chose Jim in the hologram.
Big
Who
It was
Porter
told
a
Troll.
that?
Saturday morning cartoon. Mr.
I don't know
Jim.
what he was thinking.
That was like, remember when we were, so Jacob Martin, a couple weeks ago, we were interviewing someone and they made a movie called The Hills Run Red.
Uh-huh.
And it's
Yeah.
an awful fucking movie.
I've never
And
watched
so-
it. Thank God I dodged a bullet, and he wasted a rent for that.
I rented
movie.
the movie. I was the only one out of the group that rented it. And I watched it. I was just live tweeting this movie going, this is a terrible movie. This is an awful movie. And this dude was proud of which I enjoyed interviewing him, but like that was an awful movie. And the funny thing is in the IMDb trivia is the funniest shit ever. It says the girl that plays the lead turned down a role in The Hangover to be in this movie.
Ooh.
And we're all laughing hysterically going, she blew a chance to be in The Hangover to be
Wow.
in horror film. Like that is talk about taking a bad bullet.
I've seen people online criticize the fight choreography in this movie and the editing choices, and I'm like, yeah, it's not as polished as the later Nolan movies, but I'll still take it over some of the other quick cuts that were popular
I thought
around
this
the
movie had
time.
way too many quick cuts for this one. It's not the
You
best
can-
edited because Nolan didn't really know how to shoot fight scenes very
You
well.
can at least still see what's going
I mean, I'm
on.
still invested in what's going on, so it's not the worst thing I've seen.
Because most of the time when you get into the third act, when he's fighting Ra's al Ghul, there's too much cutbacks and shaky cam
It
moments.
feels like it's like they went the route of the Bourne Identity. Remember the Bourne Identity had a lot of fight cutaways.
well, that was not shaky cam. They were just shooting in handheld. They were doing handheld style for the Bourne trilogy.
And the Bourne movies was like the one exception of like handheld shaky cam done right because it was part of the style of the directing style of the director. But everyone else tried to copy it and it looked awful.
Yeah,
Like,
no, they tried to
Quantum of
copy it, and they
Solace
thought,
is one of
hey,
my-
in order
Quantum
to
of
make it more
Solace is one of my
chaotic, let's
least-
do shaky
okay.
cams.
Yeah, Quantum of Solace is one of my least favorite Bond movies because there was way too much shaky cam in that movie, and you couldn't tell what was going on action wise half the time.
I can't defend the action in that movie because it's not good, but I think Quantum of Solace is not unsalvageable. I think there's some good stuff in it.
I think ever since that, when the first John Wick came out, they realized that we don't need to do fucking shaky cam camera work to shoot in action scenes. Like, you don't need to fucking do that. If you can shoot action and fight choreography and gunfights, then do fucking steady. Don't fucking just do shaky cams to Bill not fucking see what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, by the way, speaking of Bond, Matt's never seen GoldenEye.
Oh man, you're missing out. GoldenEye is one of the really good
Oh.
Bond movies.
Watch Party,
That's-
my channel.
Add that to your list.
November. That's what I'm saying. November. Bond November. That's what we're
I'm
gonna get.
still
Matt
fucking
to watch.
waiting for MGM to fucking drop all the Bond movies on Prime Video because I've been wanting to watch all the movies so
Oh,
bad.
don't worry, Matt.
Buy the
November.
Blu-ray set, Matthew. Buy
Have
the
you-
Blu-ray set.
Have you seen
Yeah,
any
like you
of
want me to
these
pay
Bond
300? Yeah,
movies,
you want
Matt?
me to pay $300 for that fucking collection? Fuck
We're not
that.
saying buy that.
You can
Buy
kiss
the-
my ass for that one.
Pay $10 and buy the Pierce Brosnan collection, bro.
Yeah, which Bond movies have you seen? I'm curious now.
I have seen some of the Pierce Brosnan movies. I have seen some of the Sean
Oh.
Connery, and then
Okay.
mostly Daniel Craig, of course.
Okay.
I just don't remember. I just don't remember all of those movies from the
I
previous
remem-
before.
I
I've
also
watched a
remember,
marathon of it at the time when I was a kid, but I don't remember much of it.
Gotcha.
I also remember getting the GoldenEye N64 game for Christmas one year with the system. It was pretty cool.
We're gonna get you, Matt. November. You will watch it. We're gonna make you watch it.
And you're gonna love it.
GoldenEye is good. I do have one. I do kind of have one hot take on GoldenEye. I think the
Like,
film it would have been in my top 5 if it was Timothy Dalton instead of Pierce Brosnan. I still like the film with Pierce Brosnan as James Bond, but I think if it was Timothy Dalton's swan song, it'd be one of the best James Bond movies of all time.
Originally,
Bite that, Jacob. You bite your tongue.
I know that is an unpopular opinion, but
originally Timmy Dalton was supposed to get a third film before they did GoldenEye.
yeah, there were some legal issues that delayed another movie, and then by the time the loopholes were done, Dalton's like, I'm ready to move on.
I like his one movie he made before that, the License to Kill. I thought that was pretty good.
License to Kill's in my top 5
Oh yeah.
James Bond movies.
It's so
That
good.
one is awesome.
So the ones after go now, which is your second favorite Pierce Brosnan Bond film?
Well, actually, the one I really like is Tomorrow Never Dies
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Give the
Jonathan
people
Pryce
what they
is the
want.
villain and Michelle Yeoh is the Bond girl.
What's your guys' all-time favorite Bond films? Like your number one.
My favorite, my favorite James Bond is Daniel Craig. Sean Connery is a close second, and my favorite of the movies is Skyfall.
Nice.
Skyfall is such a good movie. Like Skyfall and Casino Royale, like two of the best Bond films.
Yeah, Casino Royale is good
I
too.
agree.
And then I'm a big Connery fan. Goldfinger is one of my favorite Bond movies. From Russia with Love is up there as well.
No,
I always say Connery had the best third acts because like there's like I don't know which one it is where they're underwater fighting. I think it's Thunderball.
That's Thunderball.
Yeah, they're
Thunderball.
underwater fighting, and I'm like, that is so cool because you just see like they're actually underwater fighting, and they're just like stabbing each other, and I'm like, that's so cool.
There's some good visuals in that movie, but the underwater stuff drags too much at times.
There's
Yeah.
like music on a fight scene. It's a fight scene underwater, and they
I will
never.
say my favorite action scene underwater is the submarine scene that just came out in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I was like on edge the whole time he was doing that.
That was so good.
I still
I
need to
like
watch
it.
I was way more on edge with the plane. The plane got me more on edge than the underwater sequences in the submarine.
Yeah, the point when you
I agree. The plane sequence was even better, but
I was like, damn, dude, how are you not falling off the goddamn plane already?
I was so nervous watching the plane scene, and I'm like, I was like having almost a panic attack because I have fear of heights, and I was like, oh no, I'm like, oh no. I was like, I couldn't do it. I said I could not do that. I'm like, I couldn't.
I'm sorry, you would fall off the fucking plane already. I don't know how much grip that you have upper fucking body strength to hold on after being swerved around 100 fucking times.
Oh, I would probably, I would have literally been like the pilot, just fell asleep.
You like, you'd be falling off like that.
Yeah, you would.
But obviously, behind the scenes, he was on safety wires to prevent him from falling off the plane.
You would have definitely been aiming for the bushes on that one. There goes.
Aim for the bushes.
I would have been like, I'm gonna try to do Superman.
It's like it's not that special. They jumped 20 stories.
I like that Scarecrow in this movie, how he's just like sitting there for Victor, and then also Victor's ass. This is the only time in movies besides Birds of Prey, that we got Victor's ass in the movie. Whereas, like, Victor's ass has always been so cool in the comics, where he's like a serial killer that carves. And I'm like, oh, the first appearance of Victor's ass is like, and the Scarecrow's getting him off, where he's like, in my opinion, I would suggest he goes to Arkham.
We're literally way past that scene. We're in the cave now.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to talk about that scene because I thought that was so cool scene.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I read the bats were actually CGI, but yet again, it's blended. I think with the lighting so organically that I forget those are CGI bats.
That's the whole.
Really cool.
Well, that was the good thing about this, that you can use CGI for the right reason as long as you have the good lighting that matches and makes it more realistic in time. It's beautiful.
It really looks like there's bats.
Like I thought those were real bats for a good while before I looked up on Wikipedia. It's like, those are CGI bats. Who knew?
But it's hard to pull off when you're shooting on digital cameras that you need to have different lenses and lighting effects, because most of them when they're shot digital for modern movies are just they're just a little bit too bright and too cleaned up.
Also, if they bite Christian Bale or shit on him, that's going to be bad for the production.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
All of a sudden, you see Christian Bale getting shit on and bit, and you're like,
or getting attacked by bats, like, fuck.
I need to be paid 1,000 each of them.
I was like, you would not pay me to fucking get swarmed by fucking bats. Go fuck yourself.
No, that would not be good. I mean,
like, hey, I would be fine with doing a CG if you want to do that.
That was
for sure.
How did the COVID pandemic start? Oh, a guy was bit by a bat.
It was already crazy enough that Tony Todd did that with real bees from his mouth.
Oh god, fuck that shit. I would not be willing to commit to do that. I don't give a fuck.
Imagine the number of stings.
I will get fucking terrified to have bees swarming all around me because I had PTSD as a child, getting fucking chased by bees. Fuck that shit.
And for him to get paid $1,000 each of sting.
Yeah.
Macy Day Balloon.
The older guy that was talking to Rutger Hauer in the boardroom is Christopher Nolan's father. Fun fact.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That explains why
Was-
he's in the Dark Knight Rises. He has such just
She's looking like,
Yeah.
oh, you own the company.
Well, going back to Victor Zsasz, what you were saying, Jake, like they actually added Victor Zsasz in the Gotham show. I do remember that he made an appearance on that episode, which he's playing Metamorpho in fucking Superman. Like, that's crazy.
I like Victor Zsasz as a character. He's great in the Batman Arkham game.
Yeah, he is. I agree.
Make sure you speak into the mic, Jake.
Oh, he's great in the Batman Arkham games, Matt. You asshole.
I still heard Jake.
It was like, hey, I can see your lips moving, but I can make up the words. I'm deaf.
We'll just make up the words for him.
Oh!
Ooh, got smacked.
Ouch.
I'm sorry,
just-
I can't hear you. I got physically abused in the ear.
You just see a hand, Matt just hit you.
Oh!
Jeez.
Yeah, we tend to forget that he doesn't own the company. Like he's not the one running the company as CEO as Wayne Enterprises.
Yeah.
That's why he has the.
Yeah. In this movie, it's the Tears in the Rain guy from Blade Runner.
Even though he's technically is the owner of the company, but he's not the one running the company.
That's why he has to get all those shares at the end.
And I love it when Fox says, like, dude, all the stuff is yours anyway. They're yours. You don't need permission.
My name is Morgan Freeman.
My name is Morgan Freeman, Mr. Wayne.
Mr. Wayne, you can have
I
all
always,
this
I, always
free
try, I
stuff.
always try to practice that impression with Morgan Freeman the more I watch him.
I
You
just
can
miss
have
my-
all this free stuff. You can get busy living or get busy dying. Wait, wrong
I
movie.
I just
I get
miss
what-
my friend Andy Dufresne, the man who crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side.
Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird you said that because I watched that like 2 days ago. Just rewatched it for fun.
Oh, wow.
I have it on 4K Blu-ray for that movie.
Like, I love
Yeah,
that movie, but you rewatched it for fun. That movie?
You watch it for fun, Jake?
Why would you rewatch Shawshank for fun? The subplot with the one guy that grew up in prison and he was released and he couldn't
Oh,
handle it because he was
Oh.
living in prison this whole time and he killed himself. Like, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's
no.
the only. It's so fun to watch. It's a fun movie for kids.
Andy Dufresne fought, but the sisters in the end, the sisters. Got, it's like wow. I'm like, which Clancy Brown, by the way, is so good. You know, and
he's
so is like
fantastic.
that's such a good movie though. Is he crawled through a river
Talk,
of shit?
talk about range. He's not only the captain of the guards there, but he is Mr. Krabs in
Dude,
SpongeBob.
Also,
But also, the suit, the gadgets, and all that stuff that they have there. They they never manufacture to the military. Like, wait, what? You have all these cool shit, and you don't manufacture to the military? How does that make any sense? I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
maybe
I was
the military said that they're too expensive and they don't want to do.
Yeah,
it.
that might. Yeah, that's true.
And sometimes that does happen. Sometimes where like contracts will
Oh,
happen.
yeah, that makes
and they're like,
sense.
yeah, we're not doing this.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
Never beginning.
Or like
You know what really bummed me out for The Dark Knight, as much as I love that movie, but I know that they're rebuilding the Wayne Mansion because this was like months after the events of the first movie. But I just wish they would have like do a time jump where it's finally rebuilt. I want to get into the Batcave. I love the Batcave because when he went underground, that wasn't even really a Batcave.
He literally, it's literally an apartment in the Dark Knight.
It's like a fucking in a driveway. It's like he's in a fucking garage underground.
Yeah.
Like the Batcave is something I
works in
wanted.
the context of the story.
Yeah, I do. Don't get me wrong. I did like that, but I kind of missed that they wanted to do the Batcave. But we only got the Batcave for a short time in the third movie.
For a Batmobile, we get the Tumbler.
Hey, yeah, the Tumblr is awesome.
It's
The
literally
greatest
it's literally a
Batmobile.
version of a tank in this Batmobile.
Does it
the
come in
greatest
black?
Batmobile ever.
Does it come in black?
I love the Tumbler, but I kind of prefer the BVS, the Batmobile, a little bit more. I thought that was a beast.
You know,
Oh, I love the Batmobile and Matt Reeves Batman.
Oh
was
yeah,
a cool-
that was the muscle car thing. That was done in comic books too. They had the muscle car Batmobiles in an iteration of the comics.
I'm
my
not gonna
favorite
lie.
Batmobile
that
is still the
like
still
a
the
Dodge
1989 Batmobile.
The
That thing
89
was-
one?
Oh yeah, the
Dodge
89 one, that
Brown
looked dope. That
Yeah.
was another iconic.
I don't think there's a bad Batmobile. Even the Schumacher movies had cool looking Batmobiles.
Yeah, like there's no
I
bad
love the
Batmobile.
Batman and Robin Batmobile. I love that.
Well, that was just a neon version, like the neon lights roaming around that
Yeah, I love
Batmobile.
the
Which
neon.
at the time when I grew up, I fucking wanted to get that as a kid. I wanted to get that toy.
I
No,
forgot
Gordon,
this.
you're
I
misunderstanding.
did get that toy. I did get the toy for the Batmobile for the Batman Forever.
I forgot this is Mark Boone Jr. from Sons
Oh
of
yeah,
Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
Did you
He's
ever
just-
buy? By the way, Matt, did you ever buy the Batman Forever McFarlane Batmobile?
Yeah, no, I didn't buy it. My parents got it for me when I was a little kid. Well, not for me. It was he got it from
I'm talking
they
about-
got it from my
I'm talking
older
about
brother
the
when he
came
got
out
that
like 2 years
Batmobile.
ago. I'm talking about the one that just came out like 2 years ago.
No, I don't buy any toys really. I don't buy any figures. This is so funny. He's pretending to holding the fucking Glock when really he's holding the fucking stapler behind his head.
Yeah.
That was just so funny. Which fun fact, if you watch the first Accountant when Ben Affleck in the flashback comes across with J.K. Simmons' character with the gun on the back of his head, it felt so reminiscent of Batman Begins because J.K. Simmons played Jim Gordon in Zack's Justice League and Ben Affleck was Batman at the time.
Batman, yeah.
And like this feels very similar.
Gordon, you got hold by a stapler.
He got duped by a stapler. He thought it was a gun.
Oh,
I find it
jeez.
very funny. It always reminded me in the first Punisher movie with Thomas Jane, and he interrogates the guy and tortures him, and he thought he was gonna get fucking heat, like burned and fucking brand or something to torture that guy, and really he was holding a popsicle on him and just to fuck with that guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I love this part coming over like, what's that all about? And he's like, oh, it's just some nut.
So nuts.
Some
Some nut.
The way he turns his head too. More Spelunky? Or how do you say it? Yeah.
Speaking of Spelunky with K Devin, watch The Descent. That was a fucking insane movie.
Oh, I
Oh,
finally
yeah.
got that on.
I watched
Blu-ray
that a couple of
after that.
years ago. I was like, why did I watch this years ago? This movie is fucking
I-
incredible. I mean, I
I'm
think
still-
I might have watched it when it was on HBO at the time, and I don't remember much of it.
I'm not claustrophobic. That movie made me claustrophobic for like half an hour.
It did that for all of us.
And that ending too is crazy.
Oh, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. I hope they do a 4K remaster for that movie because I want to own that.
Oh yeah, Neil Marshall. He was doing really good. He did Dog Soldiers and then The Descent at the time.
Yeah, the set
Oh,
was
yeah.
so underrated.
Yeah. I finally got the Scream Factory version last year for it.
Nice.
And Dog Soldiers as well.
I never seen Dog Soldiers.
No.
It's all right.
Yeah, I agree with it. It's all right. Descent is better.
Of course.
The ending is
But-
good. The lead up to the whole like dog part
Yeah.
is just kind of there.
Oh, the Batmobile, the Tumbler.
The Tumbler.
I've always wanted to ride one in No Stains at the time when it came out.
Yeah, when I first
You
saw this,
do
I'm like,
ride
I thought this was the best Batmobile I had ever seen. It'd be hard to drive though, because it's literally a military tank. But
Yeah,
still,
yeah.
I'm like, this thing is so cool.
It was literally used to build a fucking bridge. That was what it literally was made for.
There it is.
And you actually do ride the Batmobile in the Batman Begins game too, which that was epic when I played that at the time.
That was, I agree.
Like, but during the Arkham games, they don't even allow you to use the Batmobile until you play Arkham Knight in the third game.
Yeah.
Does it come in black?
Black.
Johnny
Yeah,
Cash in every conversation he ever had.
Oh, God.
Does he come in black?
Ring of Fire.
No, Gordon, you're misunderstanding Flash. Like he's not corrupt. He's just making his rounds for Sam Crow. There's a difference.
He was also, wasn't he, in Too Fast, Too Furious as well? If I'm thinking of the same guy.
That
I've
movie's
seen
so
that
fun.
actor before. He plays this corrupt cop talking to Falcone.
Yeah.
I forget what
He's
else
one of
he's in, but I've seen him in other stuff.
He's one of those character actors who has a face that you would easily recognize, but you would never like know his name.
Yeah, it's like what's that other one I see? The guy that was in Mission Impossible, the last two movies, where they make that weird retcon that he's the son of Jim Phelps from the first movie. I was like, I've seen that guy before, and I could never picture where that guy was in. I've seen him in other stuff.
He's in The Lincoln Lawyer.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's in one of my favorite TV shows of all time, Boardwalk Empire.
Okay.
He's also in Fast and Furious.
Oh, he was in one of the Fast and Furious movies. That's probably where I've seen
Fast
it.
and Furious 4 that Paul Walker punches in the face.
Okay. That's
and then
it.
also he's in Fast 6 where Paul Walker punches him in the face again.
Oh, he is in 6. Okay. Yeah, 6 is one of the better ones.
Yeah. I would say 5 through 7 are just that's the trilogy, and also the first one. The rest.
I agree.
Yeah.
The first one and 5 through 7, and then you're
They
done.
They should have stopped at 7.
I think they should have just stopped at 6 because I
Tokyo
thought 7 was a painful to watch. But I love the ending. I love the ending of 7.
That's where the series should have ended at 7.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah.
Paul Walker's gone. The series is over.
Because look, I will say that I did not like the 7 at all. It was really bad. But then the ending was like, okay, now it was great. I loved it. I got emotional because of Paul Walker. And I agree that that's where it should have been over right then and there. But then the rest of it, they're like, it's continuous cash grab because the 7th one made $1 billion. And the reason why it made more than it did, because they wanted to see Paul Walker in his last role because of his death.
Yeah.
And then you get 8 that comes out, and 8 is like awful. And then 9's even more awful.
It got worse and worse.
Yeah.
I could do essays plural on how bad the Fast and Furious movies got.
It got worse after like more and more.
My favorite Fast movie post 7 is Hobbs and Shaw because I love the stupidity of it.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, like 8 is fine, 9 was bad, and I didn't care to watch 10.
It's still the funniest character like in that movie. He's like, I'm Black Superman. And
I'm Black Superman.
God bless Idris Elba for making that line.
Which this is the same guy who co-directed John Wick, the first movie, and then he directed Deadpool and Wolverine, Bullet Train, and the Fall Guy.
He directed Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh yeah, Deadpool 2. Yeah, Deadpool 2. Yeah.
Shout out to the boy David Leitch.
Leitch, yeah. Which I'm glad that he's going away from the IP and just actually directing his own thing. I mean, even though that Bullet Train and Fall Guy were based on something, but it's way more of an original movie, to be honest with you.
That's the only movie I never liked was Fall Guy. I just thought it was boring.
I love the Fall Guy. I fucking love that movie.
I still have to see that one.
Yeah.
I've still never been.
That's the only one I hadn't seen. I saw Bullet Train when they did that discount movie ticket weekend for $3 back in 2022, and it was a blast. I love Bullet Train.
Yeah, I don't like. This is one of those movies that I don't understand why people didn't go out and see this in the theater. That was fucking great.
Yeah.
And people want to bitch and complain like people are not making original movies. No, there's no original movies.
To be fair,
and then they're made and nobody watches them.
And a manga.
Guys, here comes the line.
Oh, yeah. Are you? I love that.
Here.
No, when he clearly told you to leave, it's clearly like reverse psychology telling you that you need to go and see this up close. Carmine, you are smart.
Yeah, let's go closer to it.
Some galaxy brain ass stuff right there.
I'll be right back.
All right.
All right. He's like, what the hell are you?
Man.
Wasn't he also in that Lone Ranger with Johnny Depp?
Tom
Was that-
Wilkinson, yes, he
Yeah.
was. Yes, he was. He was in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol for like 2 seconds as the IMF director, and then he gets blown up.
Yeah, he was in there for 2 seconds and he gets shot and die.
Yeah. He's just there to give the exposition, and then he gets killed.
Yeah, it was so
Like,
funny. Like, it felt like Anthony Hopkins from fucking Mission Impossible 2 when they promoted that he was going to be in the whole movie, and then he was literally in there for like 2 scenes, and then you never see him.
For
Yeah.
sure. Because you ran.
Also, nice callback with the coat. Nice coat.
yeah, nice coat.
Nice coat.
Or how
I'm
you say that.
Batman.
I can do the Batman voice all day.
Matt
I like
Reeves-
this voice. I like this voice better in the first movie, but then the second two kind of got worse with that Batman voice. I couldn't help to start laughing every time he talked as Batman.
Oh,
Oh, I'm not wearing hockey pads.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
What gives you the right?
I'm dead. Can we trust him?
Ah. Yeehaw.
And Pete Holmes was continuously made fun of his voice, which was the funniest shit.
Because you ran with the cages.
Even how over the top it gets, I still love the voice.
Falcone sent them in there kill you. You rattle his cage.
I always forget that Christian Bale's British because I'm just used to him playing Batman. So it's like,
You forget that he's
American
you forget that he's
between
British.
between this and American Psycho, and I always forget that he's
Oh.
British.
It's crazy to think that's 25 years ago, 2000. That's crazy. Psycho. I'm Psycho.
Why-
American Psycho. Yeah.
Why not, you stupid bastard?
Why isn't it possible? It's just not.
It's just why not, you stupid bastard? It's that fucking movie is literally like a meme-worthy film of one of the all-time memes.
My two favorite parts of American Psycho is where like Christian Bale stops and gives like
Ew.
deep lyrical dives of two random pop songs. Those are like my two favorite
Yeah.
scenes of that movie.
Huey Lewis in the News is one of
So
them.
Hit the B Square, and then what was the other one? I forgot. And it's
Oh,
like, Genesis In Too Deep. That was the other one.
that's the one. Yeah.
That's a
I
cool
love this
shot.
shot of Batman.
I don't think that's a real person up in that fucking that building. I think they just added like a dummy or something to keep it steady.
Yeah, but it's still a cool shot.
It is a cool shot. I love it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Well, that was the whole point because the lighting is so dark and shady that you can't see it and you can't tell. That's the whole
Yeah.
movie magic thing.
For
I know.
sure.
You gotta live movie magic.
Oh, this commissioner.
Evening, Commissioner.
I'm gonna take a bathroom break real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
There should be like an intermission going on here.
We'll be back.
His bed on that wall thing in the front of the bed is the size of a boob shot. Literally, if you paid attention, it looks like a boob shot.
Yeah, I always love the line that he says later on, that Alfred says to him later on when he says, "You do all those
What's
all
the
those-
point of doing all those
those
push-ups? You can't
push-ups.
live that
blah,
bloody
blah,
wood.
blah." Yeah, that
Even
one.
when he's about to get burned, he gets burned by Alfred.
I'm not learning polo, Alfred.
Not wearing polo, Alfred. Oh, he's drinking green drinks of that fucking green grass thing.
He,
Wonder
uh,
what that
he did
tastes
that.
like.
he's
wheat
getting
grass.
he's getting his AG1 in. Good for him.
I've always wanted to try AG1.
What's the movie that he really lost weight on for the role?
Oh, I
Machinist.
think it's Machinist. That's the one. I've
Oh,
never seen the
okay.
Machinist.
That I've never seen it, but that photo scares me.
It scares
Yeah.
the shit out of me because he actually lost all that weight. That's all him. Like, that was not CG. Like, he literally lost all that fucking weight to look like a bony Skeletor in the film. Like, that takes a lot of fucking commitment.
And then Bale got on a full-on dad bod to do Dick Cheney in Vice. So
Yeah,
the
he
man-
did. That
the
was all
man-
him.
Yeah. Christian Bale's in on that method acting.
And right now, even after that movie Vice, he even said like, I'm never doing that again.
Isn't he doing the Mad film with Nick Cage as well?
I don't know.
This was always cool with the smoke and everything.
Yeah, with the whole steam.
Steam, yeah.
Gone.
Missing.
Oh.
I just love when he gives this little remark to the valet who tries to park his car. Is like, you should see my other one.
And he actually buys this hotel, doesn't he?
He literally buys the fucking hotel. I mean, I don't know if that's even possible for a rich billionaire to buy a hotel like that, just like out of a paycheck. I mean, maybe that is realistic. I could be wrong. I have no idea.
Just so
none of us are crazy, super filthy rich like Bruce Wayne or any of the ones in real life. So it's like, we don't know how this works.
This I find it so fucking funny that he just bought the hotel just out of a paycheck, just like that, like it was nothing. I'm wondering how much that had to be worth to buy the fucking hotel.
For sure. Seems like
this is the reason why Christian Bale is my favorite Batman, because he can be dark, brooding Batman who's like all about justice, and then you got him doing Bruce Wayne, who's like the exact opposite, who's like all carefree, and he's like the womanizing, and he's like swimming in the pool with the ladies. I mean, if I was just some average Joe just going around, I'd be like, there's no way this guy's Batman. There's like two different personalities here. It's
well,
like
that's the whole point, because Bruce Wayne, he is Batman. Batman is who he is. Bruce Wayne, he's just putting on a facade as a womanizer, a rich man, a player. Like that's his mask.
Yeah,
the suit that he's wearing, that's his clothes. That's him. A lot of people fail to realize that. Even Kevin Conroy talked about that in the documentary of, I don't know how long the anniversary was. I thought it was like the 20th anniversary of The Mask of the Phantasm. It's like, dude, Batman is who he is. He is Batman. That's not his mask. Bruce Wayne is the mask.
That's a good point. I think Christian Bale definitely nailed that.
Like, and also the moment that his parents were murdered, that's when Bruce Wayne died and Batman was born.
For sure.
Yeah,
but I will say, as much as I liked his portrayal as the Batman, but I don't think he was like one of my favorites. I think that he played it off Bruce Wayne very much more than most other actors.
Yeah, I think Christian Bale to me was like the best actor that mastered both Batman and Bruce Wayne. Some of the other actors did a better job as Batman, and some other actors did better as Bruce Wayne. But Christian Bale to me is like the one who perfectly balanced both in all three movies.
For me personally, I thought that the one who really embodied the Batman character was Ben Affleck. I mean, Bruce Wayne he did a decent job for that for what he was gotten, but when he was playing as Batman, he fucking crushed it. Like that's Batman.
Yeah, Affleck was good. Pattinson was good too.
Oh, I love Pattinson. He's amazing in that movie. I mean, I think that I get why they didn't want him to play off the persona yet, but maybe in the Batman Part 2, he might do that in the second one.
Yeah, whenever it comes out.
He was too, because he thought that, hey, I don't want to be Bruce Wayne. I don't want to follow my family's legacy. This one is my legacy, and that was part of his ego and his arrogance. By the time you get to the end of the movie, he realized that striking fear to the people is not going to work. I need to give people hope. I need to do differently.
I love the Scarecrow screen here.
Oh yeah,
this is the scene that scared a whole generation,
including me.
Yeah, I don't know how I would have felt watching this if I had seen this at 10 years old when it came out. I probably would have been traumatized.
Yeah, it did traumatize me, but it didn't like scar me for life. But maybe in the theater at the time. But then the more I watched, it was like, yeah, this was so good with Scarecrow.
Kyle, back me up on this. Scarecrows are terrifying just in general. Like Scarecrow here, the Scarecrow in Pearl, the Scarecrow in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, the Wizard of Oz. Like, there's no such thing as a good Scarecrow. Like,
Scarecrow in the Wizard of Oz is a very likable human being, or a very likable character. He just needed the brain, that's all.
But I agree with Ryan.
Yeah, but it turns out the Wizard of Oz is like, hey, you had a brain all along. He's like, they thought, oh yeah, we got to get the Wizard of Brain. Like, no, dude, you had a brain.
Well, Tony still got
Oh,
the.
here we
First of all,
go.
you wouldn't function very well if you did not have a brain.
People don't, and Nolan didn't like the Scarecrow mask. That adds to his character. I like the
Yeah,
fact that
that's literally
Yeah.
his
those
character.
hallucinations would not have been as effective without that mask.
And also, even within comics and in versions, like he was not supernatural. Like he just uses a special hallucinogen drug to use it of his victims.
Hmm.
And you're right, Ryan. There is no good Scarecrow. They're all.
No, there never were.
No, there never was.
Wizard
There never was.
of Oz. That's the one exception.
Yeah, the only exception is the Wizard of
That
Oz.
Scarecrow still scares me. No, I'm just kidding.
The only thing that scared me was the fucking Wicked Witch of the West in the movie.
Oh, and then what was so cool? So since Batman Begins was the first time I ever seen Scarecrow, like in live action, then it was cool to see him in Arkham Knight again. That
Yeah, you see him in Arkham Asylum as well, and
That's right.
Yeah, and I think he was in Arkham City. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. I can't remember.
yeah, I can't remember either. It's been a little bit.
It had to be Arkham Asylum more.
That's
Get
right.
used to that, Gordon. It's going to happen quite a bit.
Yeah.
What a dick! Fucking Flash just steals his tip money. What an asshole!
I got kids to feed.
I got kids to feed.
What is he?
You don't like
saying?
falafel? Mom, you don't like falafel?
Yeah.
You know,
Fuck, you
falafel,
eating food out in the fucking pouring rain.
you know,
Yeah.
falafel is
This is one of my favorite scenes coming up.
Where would the other drugs go?
Swear to
Where
me.
are the drugs going?
Swear to me.
Wait, that's Dark Knight. Never mind.
Do I look like a
Hey.
Oh,
Oh,
You
man.
know, I hope is that it didn't catch pneumonia.
With all that rain.
I'm going to sick all of Sam Crow on you when I get down from here.
I can just picture that dude. Suddenly, actually tears up.
I can imagine another podcast for Sons of Anarchy rewatch.
Talking Anarchy.
There you go.
Awesome. Love it.
I think Collins may have fell in.
I think he might have fell into the bathroom.
Oh, hope he's all right. He's missing out on a great movie.
Yeah. She had an intermission.
Probably like an hour later, intermission.
Yeah. For sure. I just thought about that.
At his watch party too.
Yeah, he's the host.
Yeah,
Because eventually,
we're the ones keeping it all together.
For sure. Oh god, this attorney just fucking gets gunned down. Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
yeah. Just
Oh,
Bye bye.
There's the shot right there. The
Smallville,
one they
yeah.
always use for Smallville every goddamn
Smallville.
time.
Oh, they reused the shot.
Yeah, they
There
reused
and
it.
put
Yeah,
in Smallville.
they used a reused shot in the later seasons of Smallville.
And you guys just finished that, didn't you?
Yeah, we just wrapped it up.
Yeah.
Did that show on for like 10 seasons?
10
Yeah, it
seasons.
went on-
Yeah.
It did. It went on for
2001 to 2011.
Yeah, if you want to
Wow.
watch the complete series, you can watch it on Hulu. And if you don't know what it's about, it's literally just the journey of Clark Kent before he becomes Superman, and
Yeah.
before him and Lex Luthor became arch nemesis. They became friends.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind watching
Yeah,
it.
I've seen bits and pieces of Smallville.
Yeah, once you get through the first season, basically is going to be more of the Freak of the Week episodes. The pilot is what really sets the show great.
Yeah.
It sets the show very well. But the episodes were more Freak of the Week for the first season. But season
Mhm.
2 is where they've definitely found their footing for the show and where it wants to be. So yeah, if you want to stream the whole the complete series, just watch it on Hulu.
Well, I have Hulu for Disney Plus, so I might dive into that at some point.
Oh yeah, well yeah, if you have the Hulu Disney Plus bundle, there's no problem. They have Smallville on there. If you have
Yeah,
Hulu
that's
and Disney
okay.
Plus bundle.
Sounds good. I'll have to watch it again.
Highly
Just for that.
recommend it. It's my top 3 favorite shows. I mean, I will say that after season 7, the last 3 seasons were not the best. I mean, season 9 was better out of the 3, but it's still good because they changed the showrunners after season 7.
I like Scarecrow's line here. You need to light up. Like,
You want my
To
opinion?
lighten up.
You need to lighten
Yeah,
up.
go ahead, have it.
They actually had to
Right.
get a body double to set him on fire.
Yeah. I can't imagine Christian Bale actually being set on fire.
Yeah, he definitely did not get set on fire. They had to use a stunt
This-
double for that
This
one.
part,
Oh.
this part was terrifying to me.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I
in the-
agree.
Yeah,
that was
oh, yeah.
terrifying.
Batman's hallucinations are creepy.
This is where Nolan shows he could do horror.
I want to see Nolan. That's the one genre I'd love to see him tackle at some point.
His horror.
I'd
He
love
used
him to do.
He mostly just tackled more of the suspense films before Batman. But then after Batman Begins, then he switched over to directing The Prestige with Hugh Jackman. And I thought that was another underrated movie that
I love
Nolan
the
did.
Prestige.
Which not a lot of
Oh.
people saw that movie. Like, hey, he's the director of Batman Begins, and then not a lot of people saw that film, The Prestige.
It needs to be
I will
talked about more.
I will always love Christopher Nolan for the fact that he had the guts to cast David Bowie as Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, I always forgot that was
Yeah.
David Bowie in the movie. And then they have Andy Serkis and Scarlett Johansson.
Yep. It's a
Amazing
loaded
cast.
cast.
Christian
I think that
Bale,
because
Hugh
the one that set his name on the map when Christopher Nolan was easily The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is
Yeah.
what really
The Dark
he became
Knight
a
is
big
amazing.
name.
My two favorite Nolan movies are The Dark Knight and The Prestige. The Prestige is up there for me because I love the twist ending. The twist ending blew my mind when I saw that.
It blew
a really good
it
twist.
blew my fucking mind for that ending.
It's one of my favorite twists to a movie for sure.
Even the ending of Memento, where the beginning is the ending of the movie, and the ending is the beginning.
Collins, you good?
Yeah, I hope you're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Bruce Wayne just recovered from his drug trip.
You know how funny it is for most movies when people fall into a fall into a coma, they when they get knocked out, and then they get up, and then the next 2 days they're finally recovered. Like, hey, how long has I been out? 2 days. How many times they use that in movies and shows?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Mr. Wayne, you're Batman.
Yeah, that's pretty much. This is pretty much the thing. It's like,
I just wanted you to know how hard it was.
I just want you to know how hard it was.
oh, hi, Batman. How you doing? I'm Morgan Freeman.
I'm Morgan Freeman. You're Batman.
I will make your tech for you if you pay me $2 million for me to shut up.
I like, and then the Dark Knight he says you should be good against cats.
That was pretty funny. Talking about so chihuahuas should do against cats.
He gets beat up by cats. That's sad.
Bruce Wayne's birthday, and there's a number of his age, 30th birthday.
What did you think of this style of the mansion?
Fine.
It's a mansion.
Yeah.
I actually like the mansion.
I love the mansion. He's Bruce Wayne. He's got to have a mansion.
For sure.
Yeah.
Unless
For
it's
sure.
the Dark Knight when the mansion burned down and he's just chilling in a random apartment.
He's chilling in the shipping
Chilling in
container
the
underground in
penthouse.
the garage.
Yep. The back garage.
That's what they call it. It's not the Bat Cave, it's the back garage.
He has a penthouse. She kept that all that years. Wow.
Finders keepers. Tell him that joke, you know. I love when he goes on to use that piano key to open up the doorway to the Bat Cave. That was pretty dope. I like that.
Yeah, I like that. And then it was brought back in Dark Knight Rises.
Instead, I will show them Jaws the Revenge.
that would be the ultimate troll right there if you're Michael Caine. He's like I saw this interview one time where Michael Caine was asked if he'd seen Jaws of Revenge. He's like, I've not seen Jaws of Revenge, but I love the house that it bought me.
Yeah, they built the house.
Jacob
I mean,
Martin,
I will say that I kind of like the design of the first Batman, the movie Batman Begins, a little bit more than the Dark Knight. I mean, I get that it is a superior suit because it's more like he has more reflex, agile, than he can move his head around more. But I kind of like that first suit a little bit better. Especially the logo, the one logo on his chest and the second suit, it's too miniaturized. It's too mini. You can't even see the Bat logo very well.
Do you remember, Jacob Martin, the Siskel and Ebert review of Jaws: The Revenge, where Ebert's like, his shirt is dry? Do you remember?
Yeah, I've seen that. I was watching this in the theater, and I literally hollered, "His shirt is dry."
Did you get the memo?
This is why I don't do this right here. Is why I don't do watch parties out here, because my Wi-Fi is shit.
Maybe I should be the one hosting the watch party.
We've been bantering, so hopefully
next batmantary is going to be on Matt Wyatt's channel. I'll just send Matt all the clips.
Prepare to get roasted in clips.
You don't know.
Maybe it's going to be on Ryan's channel. I don't know. I know Jacob Martin's the only one that will actually keep it clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is that every time we host, one of us gets booted out. Ryan did that many times. That happened to me many times.
Yeah.
I'm usually the one that's still here.
I know. You lucky
Your
bastard.
internet is as solid as a rock, Jacob Martin.
It's solid. Yeah.
Oh, you're so cool.
Psychopharmacology. That's a fancy $3 word.
Also, I'm watching this on my big Dark Knight trilogy Blu-ray set, and it still looks incredible.
Yeah.
Are you watching on the standard Blu-ray 1080p?
I'm watching this on my PS4.
Yes.
You should upgrade to 4K. That's even going to look much better. I guarantee I'm not just saying that. I don't even know. Do you own a 4K?
I do.
Me? Or Ryan?
No, I'm asking Ryan.
I do.
Yeah, I recommend if you want to see a better quality for the Dark Knight trilogy, 4K Blu-ray is chef's kiss. I'm not even just saying that.
I'm gonna have to do that too because I know I have a 4K TV and the PS5 takes 4K. So
I know it took me a while to get the 4K trilogy because I was waiting for it to go on sale during the holidays, and I was able to get it at that time.
When
I was able to get a good deal.
I got the first 4 Christopher Reeves 4K box set, and they all look amazing.
Jacob Martin, you're kind of incorrect. This is how COVID started, right here.
Oh wow!
I can see that now. Fuck, since it was ahead of its time.
I mean, everyone's wearing masks. Chemicals are everywhere. I mean, this is ground zero right here.
I mean, to be fair, like people in Japan wore masks.
COVID. That or that? What was that movie that came out a few years ago before COVID that Matt Damon was in? Contagion.
Yeah, Contagion. Yeah, with Steven Soderbergh.
That movie's creepy as all get out.
You know what?
That was fucking terrifying. Like I even watched that. Like I watched it before COVID even happened, and then when I watched it when COVID happened, like, oh shit, that is so fucking accurate to what's happening.
I love how Cillian Murphy says the Batman in that moment,
and his face expression
too.
He's here, the Batman.
You know what? When they're doing the close-ups, when he's wearing the mask as the Scarecrow, you know what it kind of remind me of when the close shots of the main stranger from The Strangers. You know that has this bag over his head.
Why did you do this? Because you were here.
Do you remember that Cillian Murphy made a cameo in Tron Legacy? He was the John Dillinger, the son.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he cameoed in that movie, and he also Evan Peters from Tron Ares. He's supposed to be the son of Cillian Murphy for the movie Tron Ares.
Speaking of Tron Legacy, on my channel, depending on if I'm still awake after this, I will be dropping a Tron Legacy review. So stay tuned for that.
Nice.
Tron Legacy is so underrated.
I
I
mean,
love that movie.
for all we know, we could get a 4K remaster for Tron Legacy because it's coming
Oh,
out because the new one's going to be coming out this year.
That's
Yeah, I
talk
think
great.
it's
about
gonna
one
have
that's
October.
exclusive. I mean, my goodness.
I have to watch Tron Legacy. It's been a while.
Which the director Joseph Kosinski, who directed Tron Legacy, he directed Top Gun Maverick, and also he's got his upcoming movie F1.
F1, yep.
The one with Brad Pitt? Yeah.
Yeah, with
Yep.
all the Brad Pitt.
Yeah, pretty solid directing track record he has.
Say something for your own medicine, doctor.
I love that.
Just fucking like, boom, bitch.
And just
Oh,
This is what you get for creating the atom bomb.
and the way Batman looks to
And you're
him.
like, why'd you create the atom bomb? Where's the trigger? Where's the detonator?
Hey.
Oh, you're working for. So cool.
Raja Cruz.
At least he was honest.
Yeah.
Like, Dr. Crane isn't here right now. What if you'd like to leave a message?
Dr. Crane isn't here right now, but you like to make an appointment.
just wait till I get back up. I'm gonna sick the blinders on you.
So they never cured him. I always assumed with Crane, they gassed him and the poison just stayed in his mind where he basically just went nuts and he never recovered. He was always insane from there on forward, right?
Wasn't he always insane?
But I'm saying like the
Crane?
chemicals in his like he always like sees like he's nuts.
When he's on the horse, Crane. No, Scarecrow.
Scarecrow.
Of course, I love Gordon's line on a minute. I gotta get me one of those.
I gotta get me one of those.
I love the car chase sequence. It's so good. The car
It was
chase sequence.
amazing.
Yeah,
It was
Oh,
so
amazing
fun. Did
one.
you ever watch that MTV Movie Awards with Jimmy Fallon was
He
making
was
fun
showing
of
himself.
that
Yeah,
made fun of it?
that was a
And
vibe.
even Andy Dick cameoed as a cop. That was the funniest shit. It's supposed to be on the Blu-ray bonus features. They do have it on that you can watch. And you can still watch it on YouTube. Breathe slowly. Oh, like oh god.
Oh my. This is always a cool moment too with him and Gordon.
yeah.
Dude, they made a meme video where it was of Batman Begins when he yells out Rachel, but it's like, hey, your girlfriend is about to fall asleep into it watching the movie with you. Like Rachel,
Rachel!
Rachel, trying to just do Batman's on Rachel.
Yeah.
Like your girlfriend's about to fall asleep watching this movie with you. Like Rachel, trying to wake her up.
Oh,
Just hang on,
Rachel!
Rachel.
yeah. One thing this movie is not, and it's boring. It is not boring.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
engaging
No.
throughout.
It's a very quick pace.
Where is that?
Wow.
And the bats
2
flying.
hours and 20 minutes, it just flies.
That's how good the pacing is. As long as you're invested, you forgot how long this movie is. They were able to kill as much time.
Nolan is usually good at that. Even Oppenheimer, which is 3 hours, like I saw that in the theater, it flew by. I was
It
engaged by that movie.
It was a
I mean,
little long for me at first, but then the more I watch it, the quicker the movie flew by.
when you have
Since now I
that-
know the outcome of the movie.
when you have that cast doing that material, I mean, it's like you can't help but not be invested.
Yeah. And how he blends in with the bats. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a cool stunt.
And I don't mind slow burn movies, but sometimes when it's too slow and then it's too boring, it drags off and like, okay, can we move it along for this scene?
Yeah, where it
Here's
just
the
takes
gift.
forever.
And some people are like, oh, it's awesome. Like, how? Like, what made you love it? That it's boring as shit? That it's a snooze fest?
You're like move on with it.
Excuse
It's
me.
Like, move it along. Move along. Move along.
They
The
look at
stormtrooper.
they look at each other like,
Like the stormtrooper from A New Hope. Move along. Move along.
Wrong.
Or All American Rejects. Move along.
Uh,
Like, don't get me wrong, like I'm not shitting on some slow burn movies that if it's done well, then good. But if it's like, oh my god, it's dragging, it's so fucking
Yeah.
boring.
I gotta give me one of those. What a great
I
line.
gotta get me one of those. It's a black tank.
dang.
We should call
At
it
least-
Tank Man. Does that
At least
sound
tell-
right?
At least
Tank
tell me
Man?
what. At least tell me what it looks like. Oh, never mind.
Like Tank Man? Does that sound right? Over.
Oh,
Breathe slowly. Oh,
oh my goodness, this car chase is so good.
Oh,
It is so good.
that helicopter got so low. Ooh,
And with the score and everything, awesome.
nice on the turns.
I remember how epic this was in Peters.
Cops like, what was that?
oh, fucking the security. This fucking security's just standing there drinking his coffee, like just like another day in Gotham.
The more
Oh,
got
it's all the crime and corruption. This is just a normal day at the office.
Oh,
and more entertaining.
how pissed off you would be that you're on the that your car's parked on the parking ramp and Batman just fucking mows down the fucking car and you find your car destroyed. Like, what the fuck? You would be fucking
Right.
furious. Like, he better have some insurance, you fucking asshole. Crushing my car.
Then you get then there's the nerdy who it's like,
Did you notice on the top of the parking ramp when that cop was
car.
yeah, but did you notice that the cop was making like turn off your engines, and then you cut back to the guy underground in the fucking tunnel. It was like, at least tell me what it looks like. That's the same character. Like, like where the hell did he come from? Like, they must have shot that out of order in the editing room.
I didn't realize they put it that way either.
Rachel must be having the time of her life right now. Like, she's like, I'm poisoned. I'm in this weird car. Like, it's going 200 miles an hour.
He's flying on rooftops.
So
He's trying on rooftops.
I'd be the crazy nerd if I was living in that house going, Batman drove on my roof. I'll have to pay for it, but still, he drove on my roof.
My insurance will go through the fucking roof.
Oh,
Same dude right there. That was the same dude on the fucking top of the parking ramp.
Yeah.
never mind.
It's like,
Can
where
you
did
guys
he
hear
come
me?
from? Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
I
hear you.
can hear you.
Okay, I'll take care. I had to turn my microphone off because the chaotic game kept making me buffer.
Well, right now, Collins, we're on the awesome car chase.
Well, that guy's dead. Well, that guy's dead.
That cop just said coming up on his butt. I'm like, pause.
I think he just killed a few cops along the way.
2 or 3.
I'm 90% sure he killed those cops.
Yeah, it'd be hard to survive that in a normal world.
Watch if you've seen those YouTube video of how many kill counts that Batman had from all the iterations of live action Batman movies. They selected of how many body counts he inadvertently killed.
This is such a suspenseful scene too.
He turns off the headlights.
Yeah.
Oh, that's scary.
Okay, that's a little creepy right there. Stay with me.
Yeah,
I
that
bet
was
you
creepy.
could stay with him, Matt. Like, I'll stay with you, Batman.
It's like, no, ugh.
Oh,
You little weird, awkward moment, Batman.
He's like, hey, let me take you to the bat.
Let me take you to the Batcave. You'll be with me.
That's where I take my underage ward, Dick.
Okay, that's a little too far. You had to go
Okay.
there.
That's what happened. He
You had
literally
the
does.
fuck-
He takes Robin to the Batcave
The
every
glasses
day.
did it. You know what happens when he wears the glasses.
Rachel!
Get your head out of the
Rachel!
He went there.
I remember the first time I saw this movie, my mind was blown just seeing him drive into the Batcave through the waterfall. I'm like,
Yeah, through the
best
waterfall.
Batman ever!
Yeah.
That was pretty badass.
car wash every time, too.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Free car wash.
Yeah, you get free car wash through a waterfall. If I had to wake up in a cave when there's bats on top of it in a cave, I'd be freaking the fuck out. Like, oh fuck.
And this guy's standing there.
Yeah, just staring at
Just
you.
lurking and just creepy in the dark room.
Not even moving.
How are you doing, Rachel? He takes his mask off and his eye makeup magically disappears.
What was the pitch meeting clip or the quote, Matt?
It's going to be super easy, barely inconvenience.
That's the one.
But didn't you know what I appreciate about with Matt Reeves' Batman is that every time Batman takes his mask off, his eye makeup stays. It doesn't magically disappears like we all see in every iteration of Batman. Damn good television.
It's a miracle no one was killed. I think some cops might have been killed.
I'm pretty sure he killed a bunch of those cops. They were flipping their car over.
Yeah.
That was damn good television, Alfred.
Best television.
And Michael Keaton, he would have just dropped a bomb and blew them all up.
Oh yeah, Michael
Yeah,
Keaton Batman is the. I don't know which Batman was more deadly, him or Affleck.
I'm gonna say Michael Keaton. I think Michael Keaton, he pretty much murdered a lot of people in the factory, and he even blew up that one guy in Batman Returns. Took that one bomb and just dropped him in the sewer and blew the
He
fuck
smiles
up.
like a psychopath where he's like,
It's like-
you're dead.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he's crazy.
Does that fucking creepy ass smile.
like that.
He blew everybody up in that fucking factory in the first movie. I was like, I'm pretty sure they're all dead.
Dead. D-A-D, dead.
Yeah, I think probably the two best performances where actors can pull off the duality factor very well are Christian Bale and then Christopher Reeve when he played Superman. Like, people poke fun of the fact that, like, oh, he takes off his glasses or he puts on his glasses and people can't recognize him. No, Christopher Reeve mastered two different personalities: the bumbling, geeky Clark Kent and then the heroic Superman. He pulled that off masterfully.
My thing is, if you're going to play Batman and Superman, you have to make sure Bruce Wayne is the mask. Clark Kent is the mask. Superman is who you truly are. Batman is who you truly are. Like, that's what I judge by. Like, Michael Keaton, I love Michael Keaton, but his Batman is the same as his Bruce Wayne. He has the same voice.
Yeah.
I will say
agree.
the two people I would say that can do both. You know, the only reason I don't say Affleck only because I feel like Affleck, he's using a voice modulator, so that's not really. You're kind of.
I thought that was a smart move for them to use a voice modulator to conceal his identity so that no one would recognize his voice.
I want to say Val Kilmer so bad because I feel like his voice.
I mean,
is different.
I also love like Kevin Conroy, who voiced Batman and Bruce Wayne, but they all sound the same fucking thing. They all sound the
Why
same
I can't
person.
do it because he sounds the same. You have to sound different from like Batman. If you sound the same, then people will guess. Just like Clooney, he sounds exactly the same. I mean, you can literally put two together.
I freeze. I'm Batman.
Yeah,
Yeah, but if
George
change your
Clooney
voice up.
is the most miscast Batman of them all.
100%.
I want to say I think Val Kilmer would probably be the second closest because Val Kilmer, at least his Bruce Wayne was different from his Batman. Like
I
he tried to
agree.
change. Superman, I would say the two best Superman. His is probably I honestly don't really know because I feel like David Cornsweet might be if we'll have to wait and see. But Henry Cavill is the exact same as Clark Kent. Like he's literally talking as Superman. I'm like, dude, and you're dressed even say your hair's the same exact style as your Superman. I'm like, they can look at you and go, "You're Superman." Like, no, I'm not. I'm like, you even sound like him.
Well, this is an awkward reunion.
Yeah. He's the true villain of the movie.
Yeah.
Which I saw that coming from a mile away. It's like, dude, you don't fucking kill off. You don't just get rid of Liam Neeson like fucking like 20 minutes in like 30 minutes in the movie.
Nobody kills Liam Neeson off. Okay, my daughter has been taken 3 times, and I've got her back every time.
He's the only person in Star Wars to have been killed by a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Other people
Yeah.
get
Other
stabbed
people-
with lightsabers and survive
people-
somehow.
Yeah, but other people who get gutted with lightsabers, they get a boo-boo. They get a band-aid. With
Yeah.
Qui-Gon, it's like, I need to have a word with George Lucas here. What the fuck?
That makes any sense, right?
It's like, hey, fuck me then.
Yeah, he gets killed, but everyone gets a little boo boo.
But hey, yeah, this guy over here, I would tell the truth. This guy's Ra's al Ghul. Yeah, he's gonna destroy Gotham in a couple of hours. Yeah, those guys are his henchmen. Yeah, they gotta gas you and. Ross, come say a word. Come here, Ross. Come say a few words.
They're all gonna hand blast you.
That's good night. They're all gonna die in a few. I'm just like,
It's like if you don't leave, you're all gonna die.
This is like the smartest but cruelest way to get rid of the crowd. Oh, just pretend to be drunk and until you're dead.
Yeah, I thought that was a genius move.
Considering what's about to happen, you're going to thank him later.
Yeah.
I like how Ra's al Ghul goes amusing, but pointless. I love that.
Well, long not to live. Amusing, but pointless. Yeah, when he's being the drunken, like arrogant Bruce Wayne, then he turns it on an instant. He's
I
Batman.
love reading the newspaper.
By the time they leave the mansion and him and Ra's al Ghul talk, this is when he's actually Batman.
I love that it says drunken billionaire burns down the newspaper articles.
I thought that was fucking hilarious.
And just imagine him reading that, going, Bruce Wayne was drunk last night. He was probably burning it. I'm burning this motherfucker to the ground, Alfred. Alfred, Master Wayne, stop. Watch this.
Like, Master Wayne, stop. Master Wayne,
Watch
stop.
this.
Master Wayne!
No, don't.
The roof is on fire.
Fire.
I'm the real American Psycho!
That's your best excuse. Like he gets drunk, like, oh, I'm gonna set this place on fire. Fuck everyone here. Oh, fuck you. I was like, what? Then he must have. He's an narcissist.
I would say, hey, look, my house caught on fire because somebody burned it down. I wouldn't say, yeah, I got drunk and burned my own house down.
I got too drunk and burned down my own home.
Like that would make that's arson. Also, that's a crime as well. That is a crime. Bruce Wayne will be facing arson charges. You can't burn your own house down, even if it's your own home.
No.
He got away with that because he's rich.
Like, I'm Batman.
He went to the fire marshal and was like, Bruce Wayne's house will stay burned down. You will not come after him with charges. Okay, all right, get the hell out of my apartment, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Whoa.
I will come back.
Like,
And I will
no.
haunt
Wait. You could have just said someone broke into my mansion and burned it down. Some punks.
Not drunken billionaire.
So drunken billionaire Bruce Wayne has burned his house down.
There's a journalist in Metropolis named Clark Kent. He come over here and burn my house down. Then all of a sudden, Clark Kent, random mouth, to be hovering over him, going, "Care to step outside?"
Have you ever heard of freedom of the press?
It burned London to the ground.
I love him as a villain.
I would try to put my house out while he's sitting there giving monologuing. I would just be trying to stop the fires, you know.
What can you do? They're everywhere. You can't. There's nothing you can do.
Well, when they started burning, I'm like, hey, okay.
He's too busy listening to his monologue, bad guy monologue speech.
What's the point of those push-ups?
I saved your life. I didn't leave you for dead, you asshole. Like, what?
Yeah.
You burned my house and left me for dead. Like, wait, no,
Rob,
I didn't. I
you have
saved
a
your
very-
ass.
You have a very twisted view of history.
I was like,
He
I
should
feel like,
really
did you have amnesia?
He saved you. He just left you in there.
He's the
just drag
anti-Squadron
yourself out, leave him on the
movie.
ground.
I would.
If
Your ass would have been dead if I had not saved your life. So you're gonna give me shit.
Yeah, talk about a crazy year for Liam Neeson. He was the villain in this movie, and he's Aslan the Jesus Lion in the Narnia movie.
Oh yeah, that is right. That did.
That's
Yeah.
right.
05.
I forgot about that.
How's it at Meryl Streep now? That's Aslan.
The good thing about him as the villain that he thinks he's right. He believes that he's the hero of the story.
Yeah,
I'm
does,
He
gonna
thinks
yes.
the order way to clean up Gotham is completely cleanse it, genocide.
But
Yeah,
basically,
that's-
his idea is economics, where basically, if we get rid of all the poor people, that will solve all our issues.
Yeah,
Because
get
all the
rid-
poor people
cleanse-
are the
no, he's like cleanse everything, cleanse everything.
well, he started off with the poor people, and now it's everybody.
I hope you're not the fire brigade.
Hope you're not a member of the fire brigade.
Michael Caine is the coolest Alfred.
This is the
Oh,
funny
fuck.
shit right here. He's about to get burned, and he gets burned by Alfred.
What's the point of doing
Gotta
all this?
make a bloody log.
What's the point of all these push-ups? You can lift a bloody log. Like, dude, he's about to get burned, and you're just burning him. You try to roast him. I wouldn't touch that. You'll burn your
the
finger.
keys weren't on fire. It's like,
You would have
I
burned your fingers on
get
that piano. Like,
outside.
ah, fuck. Ah.
Amazed he didn't burn it. It's crazy.
Oh, that was a close one.
Where the fire comes flying in, that's a cool shot.
Absolutely.
Ouch.
luckily, the Batcave is salvageable.
Yeah.
I have insurance.
Good thing the fire didn't follow them down there.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that the debris didn't fucking fall on top of them.
Why do we fall? Sir?
why do we fall?
because we can't watch where we're going.
Because we can't watch our steps.
Oh my.
That was why do we fall? That was Christian Bale's reaction after seeing Thor: Love and Thunder.
Harassment.
I wanted help, and they wasted my talent.
Well, I knew I should have seen that coming when I was in Love and Thunder.
Welcome to the jungle.
I bet you Christian Bale was like, you know what? I should have done the Flash. I mean, to be fair, the Flash made Thor: Love and Thunder made more money than the Flash, but still,
Yeah,
It would have, like, he was the best part of a very bad movie. Like, Gore the God Butcher was like, you know, like, he was on another, like, he was in another movie, and Thor was
Yeah.
it would have been a great Skeletor in a He-Man movie.
Thor was
100% agree.
in
Yeah.
that one. He was
I
miserable.
think the one really, really great scene in Love and Thunder is that scene where Thor is fighting the God Butcher on that black and white planet. That scene was really cool, but other than that, it's like Taika really messed up.
Yeah, but the
And
black
the-
and white, the
movie.
fight. Speaking of the fight in the black and white planet, like Dune, like Denis Villeneuve would like to have a word with you. He's like, "Hold my beer. Let's do better on this scene in Dune Part 2."
And
Oh,
he-
that was
The
great.
arena fight.
Yeah.
Show them what you are. Another word is panic.
this is the only scene that Rachel and Ra's al Ghul have in a scene together.
Literally.
This is the
Yeah.
only scene they have together.
I honestly thought that the love story with Rachel didn't care for it, and the love triangle happened in the Dark Knight. Like, why? Seriously,
To be fair, I thought for a second
she was not that
love triangle-
interesting of a character to begin with. She was kind of a useless character, to be honest with you.
To be fair, I thought you were gonna say the love triangle between Rachel and Ra's al Ghul and Bruce Wayne.
No, I'm
like,
talking about with Harvey Dent. I'm talking about with
That's
Harvey
not
Dent.
existent.
yeah.
That would
I
be a
think you
weird love
misunderstood
triangle.
her.
That would be an odd
Yeah,
love
Matt.
triangle going on here.
I'm like, I think you misunderstood the scene of him looking at her, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
how you doing?
I'm with Jake on that. Yes, Matt, you got it wrong.
Oh, there's Joffrey.
Well, that's right.
Kill
that
him
is right.
now. Kill
Do
him
it.
now. Save Sean
You have a
Ben.
You have a
Kill
chance.
him now.
I forgot that it was
You have
him.
a chance to save Sean Ben.
Oh, Sean Bean gets his head cut off.
I bet you Gordon's wanted to do that for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all wanted to hit him.
Oh, the suit up montage. I love it.
Yes. Zimmer's Batman theme is awesome too. I feel like Danny Elfman's the best in the Tim Burton movies, but that one's too iconic. But if I had to pick a close second, it'd be Zimmer's.
But Michael Giacchino's score for the Matt Reeves' Batman was another iconic score.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom,
That
boom,
would
boom.
that would probably be third for me. 'Cause that was a good score as well.
No, Scarecrow.
This
Kang?
is another terrifying one right here for me. Well, you were saying? Not quite.
So I'm all alone?
You have the reinforcement.
Robin.
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 Hey, I'm right here, guys. I'm on a scooter. I got this.
I got this.
Just imagine me on the fucking electric scooter.
Come here, bad guys. And then they start wailing on him. They're beating
Holy
him up.
jeepers
He's like,
creepers, Batman!
I got
Holy jeepers, Batman!
Can you drive stick?
And just watch
You
him
know-
get
you
his
know-
ass beat.
I read somewhere that the scene where like all the copycats of Batman was a nod to like Nolan taking a shot at Robin because he said he doesn't want to. He doesn't like the character of Robin.
Right in the face, too.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's nasty.
I always laugh at that scene. That's so freaking hilarious.
that
He's like,
hallucination of a horse breathing fire is sick.
That was
Yeah.
sick, yeah.
When I
Like,
was a
if they
kid, I
ever
thought he
made it-
said afterwards, "You crazy bitch!"
Like, if they ever made
You
it
crazy
bigger,
bitch!
You crazy.
like that belonged in the Ghost Rider movie, which also came out in 2005.
Yep.
Holy,
What are you
so
talking about,
takes
Ghost
back-
Rider?
Oh, that was 2006.
No,
No,
that was
that was-
2007. 2007 is when Ghost Rider came out.
Oh,
No, it was 2006,
You're right.
Matt.
No, it was 2007 because it came out the same year as Spider-Man 3.
it's 07.
Oh, okay. I was off a year.
Jake, were you trying to gaslight me?
Matt, you're right. Okay, I'm sorry, I was wrong. It was February 16, 2007. Yeah, I always thought it was 2006 for some reason.
Now, you all mentioned this kid turns into Joffrey. That's a Game of Thrones reference, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
If you
Don't
know,
tell him
you
what
know.
happens, okay? He's gonna watch it one
Wait,
day.
wait, he has not seen Game of Thrones? See, I
No,
should
we
give
haven't.
him. See, I'm the one who's getting shit for
I,
not seeing
I
Golden
haven't, I
Eye,
haven't
and you have
seen
not
Game of
seen Game
Thrones
of Thrones.
either. It's like people hype that
Watching
show
a
up,
TV
and
show
then
and
they
watching
say
a
the
movie are
last
two different
season sucks.
things.
Yeah,
It's
but that was
why
like
would
the
I
most
watch a
popular
show
talk about.
that I know it sucks at the end?
Oh, I won't say anything about Game of Thrones. Never
Well,
mind.
I won't say anything about the final
It's
season.
all a
But,
matter of taste. Some people like the ending, some people don't like the ending, but it's still.
but
I
here's
think
the thing:
it's still a good
but
run.
this show, it's the most fucking popular show of the modern age of television, modern age. Like,
Jacob Martin's never seen it either.
then you must be in the cave the whole time.
He probably doesn't have HBO like most people.
Yeah.
Well, every time Superman goes in and fucking destroys the satellite, there goes your HBO, you fucker.
Well,
Not
that's a little harsh to say about
Yeah, really.
Someone destroys a satellite from crazy disasters. Like, fuck, there's HBO. There it goes.
Liam Neeson has a COVID mask in this scene.
He's trying to prevent getting COVID.
This movie's literally like a pro-COVID movie, like an anti-vaccination.
It called it by
100%
15 years.
15 years.
Oh,
Lots of cutbacks.
Keepers.
Oh,
God, when that thing shines into my eyes, like, fuck, I'm blind.
also, this is eerily similar to what happens at the end of V for Vendetta.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's right.
Which it came out in the same year,
I love that
2005,
movie.
20 years ago.
what a coincidence!
I do own the 4K Blu-ray for that one. It
Me
looks
too,
incredible.
man. I
Yeah,
got
no,
mine in
do I.
2020.
it looks so
Looks
good.
That movie, it's so good, yeah.
It's one of
Very
my favorite.
underrated comic book movie.
I agree. It's one of my
It's
favorites.
that
It
was
is one of the
another
sexiest
ahead of its
movies
time.
I've ever seen. It is a
Directed
sexy
by-
movie.
Directed by John McTiernan.
Like that movie was ahead of its time as well with the whole political aspects of it.
The people should not be afraid of the government. The government should be afraid of the people.
Overthrowing their own government that are tyrants.
I always loved his masking that we wear.
Who would have
I
known? Who would have
loved it.
known? Who would have known? Literally, if that movie was like what did 2021 happen? When did January 6th happen? 2021. How long was that? Who would have known that movie was like 15 years? Who would have known 15 years?
Be like
later,
15 or 16 years later.
that people would have been like took frivolous notes that day. We're like, you know what? Let's do V for Vendetta shit. Let's go, guys.
Yeah.
That's not what that movie interprets means.
Let's go.
Well, I mean, look at the hackers from Anonymous. They wear those masks because the Guy Fawkes mask. The hackers.
Did you know that V for Vendetta mask, Henry Cavill used that when he was given one incognito at Comic-Con when they were promoting the Suicide Squad in BVS, and he had to go incognito and just wear a black shirt and wear a V for Vendetta mask, and completely goes to the signing autographs panel for Suicide Squad.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I remember he shook Will Smith's hand, and Will Smith thought he was just a fan.
Yeah, he was just some random fan. That was the whole point. Which I thought was pretty awesome. That's how cool Henry Cavill is.
You know what I would have done? I would have got a poster, got in line, got Will Smith to sign it, and took a picture. And then, like afterwards, then got the whole cast to sign this. Instead, he got a shirt. Like, you signed my shirt. Why would you sign my shirt? There's a poster right there.
Yeah.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Gordon's like, where am I going?
It's like, what the fuck? Whoa.
Right. It's not mine. It's the Batman.
I'm just borrowing.
Dude, one guy's checking out the.
Missed it by that much.
I don't have to save you.
Who said anything about stopping it?
Oh,
Oh, this is cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is your stop.
And this is where he kills them.
Yeah. And we thought Batman had a no-kill policy.
Yeah, whatever
Oh.
happened to no kill policy? But save you.
Who said anything
He
about
says, I
stopping?
won't kill you, but I don't have to save you.
But yeah, you still killed him.
Therefore,
You
you
let him
killed him.
die.
Yeah.
If Superman flies away and says, "I don't have to save you, Lex," and then he's leaving Lex to die, when the train's gonna crash and Lex is gonna die, you're killing Lex Luthor. I'm sorry.
100%.
That still goes against your kill rule, Batman.
We want
Yeah,
in Smallville. there
I
was a
hate when they
couple
always do
times where-
loopholes. They always try to find a
Yeah.
loophole in that bullshit. Like, dude, you killed him. You left him there to die.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there were times in Smallville where we were watching it where like
Oh, yeah.
Clark inadvertently kills people throughout the show, and we're
Yeah.
like, "That's murder! What he just did. He just killed somebody."
Remember every time that he always tosses them with one tap and they go across the fucking wall? I'm surprised they're not dead already.
Jeez.
Do you want to know that do you know that most of the movie was shot in like most of the like a lot of the street scenes were shot in Chicago, but a lot of the like the mansion and stuff like that was shot in England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of these
They-
actors are British. Like a lot of the actors in the movie are English.
Yeah.
Like the Commissioner Loeb is English.
Even Christian Bale is English. There you
I
go.
always forget that.
Oh, good for you.
Oh, it's good for you. What the
Imagine
fuck
if-
is that?
imagine-
Why are you always at the
imagine
fucking set? Get the fuck out of here. What the
Yeah,
if
fuck are you
Christian
doing?
Bale did
Oh.
Batman in a British voice. I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
I got another job.
Where were all the other drugs going?
Where's the Joker? Where's the Joker?
Where's the trigger? Where is it?
Where's that trigger? Where's that trigger?
Where's the bloody trigger?
Where's that blood trigger? And people made fun of Ben Affleck's fucking Boston accent voice when he got cast as Batman. Where's the Joker? You fucking twat. Where's the Joker?
And I bought most of the shares.
Which means I am the owner now. Again.
Yeah.
But now he owns his own shares, and now he's letting Lucius Fox to be the CEO of Wayne Enterprises. Didn't you get the memo?
Oh,
I always never will forget that one liner right here. Didn't you get the memo?
Well, to be fair, he just because you buy shares does not make you just call the decisions. But if you own a majority share, then they will listen to you because that means you are basically over everyone now because you are basically the highest shareholder, meaning you have unlimited. You could do whatever you want
Right.
because you're the owner now. Because that means you have the most shares. Which the only people I think that only have it left is Daggett. And I think there was like one, like Daggett bought the rest of the shares, and then like there's like a little bit of a share left.
Yeah, they should have just ditched this whole love story with Rachel. Like, I know they did ditch that at the end of the movie, but then they still carry on with it because he wants to give up being Batman to be with Rachel. Like,
Also,
oh god, like why?
There's no Rachel in the comics. It's just that she's so created for the movie. Like
Yeah,
Vicky
she
Vale
was an
right
original.
there.
Yeah, she's an original character.
That was
And honestly, to be honest with you, I think she's useless in these movies.
Also,
I
the
agree.
romance wouldn't have worked out anyway because she was dead set on marrying Harvey Dent. So that's like,
Yeah.
But I think but you know how they are. They need to add something that would drive Batman further in the
I'm
plot.
Batman. I'm sorry, but I'm Spider-Man, and no matter how hard I try, Who am I? I'm Spider-Man.
This is almost exactly like the ending of the first Spider-Man, but reversed.
But this is literally the reverse. The studio watched Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movie when Peter just decides to not move forward in that relationship with MJ. But this one, this is the reverse, where Rachel's not moving forward with this.
That man's like, I don't give a shit about the people, okay? Like I said, I want you.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I don't fucking care. It's like, I'm gonna let Harvey Dent be the white
Good
knight.
for them. I don't
Good
care
for
about
them.
any of them. I will trash this set if I can't end up with Rachel.
And then when you get into the beginning of Batman Dark Knight Rises, he's retired as Batman. Like, he just died because his girlfriend died. Wham!
Then we get an awesome little ending that just gives you.
But to be fair, I will say that the city was already cleaned up. There's not a lot of crime was already down, and they no longer needed Batman at that time. So I'll give them that one.
I love that the ending that's coming up here. We get enough just to give us enough hype for the next movie. So,
Yeah.
Yep, it did. Yeah.
just showing us the one thing.
It did set, yeah. It didn't really end and conclude. It didn't really conclude. Really, it just really set up the second movie
Yeah.
because of Joker, the card.
I mean, this movie has a definite ending, but it keeps you intrigued because I guess they didn't know they were making a second movie at the time. But it's like, oh, if we do a second movie, I guess we'll put the Joker in it.
And then when we got the trailer, I got so excited.
Oh yeah, but everybody was fucking like raging when Heath Ledger was cast at the time before they saw the trailer. I'm like, what the fuck? That's Heath Ledger in the shot. That's Joker.
Brokeback Mountain guy.
And he proved them wrong, didn't he?
You're gonna get a Brokeback boy. 10 things I hate about you.
They're gonna make the Joker gay for Batman. Is that what they're doing?
They're gonna get the gay Joker from Brokeback Mountain.
Let me tell you something, okay? You're telling me Mysterio and the Joker are having sex. I'm gonna tell you something. That's I
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. The Joker and Mysterio having sex.
I shared a poster of Mysterio.
Two comic book villains getting married.
He's like, stop. Mysterio.
You're gonna get 10 things I hate about you.
We will.
See, actually, I kind of had the opposite effect. I watched Heath Ledger as the Joker in The Dark Knight first, and I'm like, oh man, he's excellent in this movie. And then when I found out his first movie was 10 Things I Hate About You, I'm like, really? The Joker was in this movie? And then I watched, I'm like, oh man, he was such a versatile actor.
But he was in The Patriot with Mel Gibson, that Roland Emmerich directed, which that was the first
I forget
movie
he's in that movie.
That was like the first movie I've seen him in as an actor.
Imagine what he would have done though if he was still alive.
Well, once he became the Joker, he was totally unrecognizable. Like you didn't see him as an actor. He transformed into the Joker.
Yeah, it would have been interesting what he would have been doing after he alive.
But I think people like to crap on any other actors who tries to take on that role, and because Heath Ledger was pretty much at his peak, and when they think of Joker, they think of Heath Ledger.
Right.
I mean, he's the definitive Joker at this point.
You never have to. Love that.
That was a good closing shot.
Oh, I love that. When he glides in front of the camera, boom, in title card. Perfect way to end that movie.
I think this might have been like the first movie I've seen that started that. Oh, Christopher Nolan probably started that trend where you don't see the title of the movie until the movie ends. It's like most of the Marvel movies do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
In the
I
words
mean, most of the opening titles, they always do the opening long titles for like 5 minutes. But now in today's world, they do the completely opposite, where they play the title at the end of the movie and not the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Which fit perfect for this for sure.
Which you get the exception with James Gunn, when he does play the opening titles, but he plays it as they're filming, as the scenes is going on, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, James Gunn. I think the Guardians movies are like the rare Marvel movies that have opening titles.
I mean, how much you want to bet? How much you want to bet when we see Superman? They play the opening title with playing the John Williams theme, except that we see Superman fighting a kaiju while the credits starts rolling up, and you see the Superman logo popping up the screen in front of Metropolis, and he's fighting the kaiju.
You never know. We'll wait until it comes out in July.
Or he can do the old school Richard Donner style, if that one or the other. But he might come up with something creative.
I'd rather James Gunn do it in his own style, because like Superman Returns, the big issue of that movie was it was copying the Donner films way too much, and it lacked its own identity, especially with Brian Singer at the helm.
But to be fair, like they didn't really reboot that movie. It was made to be a sequel to Superman 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But I do agree. It was more of like a copy and paste of the plot of the first movie.
For sure.
We literally look. You know what, Jacob Martin? You know what we found out?
What?
We found out that Superman, the opening credits weren't even supposed to be like the John Williams credits. It was supposed to be news clippings. It was literally supposed to be news clippings of like of a recapping like because it's the sequel to Superman 1 and 2. So it was supposed to have newspaper clippings, basically like just like recapping the events of Superman 1, Superman 2, and then building a bridge to Superman Returns and explaining everything. And so, of course, and there's even like a deleted scene where like the Kumar from Harold and Kumar, he basically is like a rogue Daily Planet employee who works for Lex Luthor, who plants false evidence that there's life after Krypton, that Krypton's still out there in Superman. So like all that stuff was shot, but they said, we don't want to, like, this is too long, and the movie's already 2 hours, and they made them cut back. And they said, well, plus we want to make it more like the John Williams. So can we do the opening credit?
Yeah, that was the studio. Yeah, that was totally the studio's decision to wanting to go for that because it's a nostalgia. It was a nostalgia. But also, piggyback to what you said that Lex was responsible for him leaving the planet. That would have
made so much more sense if they put that in the movie.
Yeah, but they used that in the movie tie-in the video game where he confesses that he was responsible for that. They used that in the game, but they did not put that in the movie.
Yeah,
that would make so much more sense. It's like, why would Superman just leave like that? It makes no sense.
Yeah, our guest was like literally telling us that when he worked on the movie, that he literally said that like there was like a 3-hour cut of that movie.
Yep, there was a longer cut of the movie that they did not put in.
Literally, it shows everything. It explains. And he said it's a much better. They said there's footage of that movie we will never see ever.
And they do have the deleted scenes where we see Superman going through the ruins of Krypton when he arrives there.
Yeah, he said that's publicly released, but he said the newspaper clippings bridging the gap is not.
And even the director Brian Singer said that if I were to do something different, he probably would have redid the origin story and probably add a little bit more action packed. And if he were to do the director's cut, he would have cut the movie a little bit shorter. That's for his, not mine. That's what he would have done if he would have changed things for the director's cut.
Well, that was a blast.
I really enjoyed Batman Begins. Batman did begin. I honestly think they should have called Superman Returns Superman Begins because I'm like, you could have literally made more money because people call it Superman Returns.
Well, if they changed the title for Superman Begins, it wouldn't have made any sense because the story was him returning to the world, and that's why the title is called Superman Returns.
Well, you know what, Matt? You know what?
Have you watched the movie? Did you watch the movie?
I did watch the movie. I did.
It's a rhetorical.
Yeah, asshole. You know what, Matt? You know what, Matt?
It's like, hey, let's call it Superman. The joke's on you. Hey, let's call it Superman Begins.
Who cares?
What were you saying?
God. Yeah, what were you saying?
That's the first time I've seen that meme.
No, Ryan used it on us a couple of times. So I'm like, Ryan, send that clip. So and I use it. But no, man, I understand what you're saying. I understand truly.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying is it's a sequel to Superman 1 and 2, so it makes no sense if it's just called Superman Begins.
But also, the story was the return story, and they had to put that title there. Superman Begins, like, wait, it hadn't begun. He's already been Superman. How does that make any sense?
It would make no sense really because
if they both did it the same thing and with Batman Begins, like, oh god, now you're just copying off of the other movie title. That would be a ripoff.
Superman.
I'll be like fucking Sean Green from fucking Austin Powers. Rip off.
Which I'm glad that James Gunn is calling Superman Legacy Superman because Superman Legacy, I'm like, you're gonna lose so much more money because guess what? People think this is a sequel. Like they're like, oh, is this just a sequel to like Man of Steel? And they're just like recast everybody. No, like that's what now people know. This is the first movie.
And you know how they got away with it because the first movie was called Superman the Movie.
Yeah.
Which I agree.
but
Like, if you called Superman Legacy, people would be confused. Like, is this in the same universe with Henry Cavill that you just recast? You would have confused a lot of people if you called Superman
Yeah.
Legacy.
I
It
still
wouldn't have
hate
made
that.
any
Like,
sense.
what they call Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm like, just call it like Ultimate Spider-Man or
Yeah,
Spectacular.
call it the Spectacular Spider-Man. That would have been an appealing title.
Homecoming. It makes you feel
Why do you
like
have
the
to?
whole
Why do you have to call it Everything Needs to Be Home in the next title? Like, why? I never got that.
Spider-Man Home Alone.
Home Alone.
I kind of like that.
That's
about
what they
those
should have called for the next one. Home Alone.
Peter.
Because he's literally all alone. No one else. Home Alone. Get it?
Yeah,
Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
Far Home.
I guess the new trilogy is the Day trilogy because the new one's called Brand New Day.
Yeah. And Spider-Man the next day,
The final
The day.
The final
Yeah.
day.
or Spider-Man the day after.
How about this? Spider-Man the day after tomorrow.
There you go.
The day after.
Is he gonna stop a natural disaster?
Is Dennis Quaid going to be there trying to rescue
Spider-Man Judgment Day.
I'm kind of beat. Let's get out of here, huh?
All right. So Jacob Martin, what you got? What's your ratings? 1 to 10.
It's an easy 10 for me. This is one of the best origin stories in any. I think in the comic book genre, it's raised between this and Richard Donner's Superman are probably the two best origin stories. This is easily one of the best Batman movies. It does the origin story so well. Christian Bale's great. Nolan, fantastic director to revitalize Batman. Great cast all around. Great action. Great storytelling. It's just one of the all-time great comic book movies.
All right, Matt, what about you?
Yeah, this is the movie that not a lot of people talk about at all. When they think of the Nolan's Batman movie, they think of The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. These are the most talked about films. This one gets completely like unmentioned and forgotten. It's one of the most underrated comic book movies. If it weren't for this movie, we wouldn't get the rest of them at all. This is what really started the whole trilogy, really. And I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. Now, I didn't like the Rachel Dawes character. I felt like that she was kind of a pointless character to put in the movie. And even though some fight scenes were good, but I did not like the editing choices of doing too much cutbacks. That was the weakest part of the movie. But overall, this is a 9 out of 10. This is like the better Batman movie. Even though I love the Dark Knight movie, the Dark Knight is a better film. It's a 10 out of 10. But this is the closest thing to a real Batman film, in my opinion.
What about you, Matt? What about you, Ryan?
Nice to see you too. 10 out of 10, no notes. Phenomenal movie across the board.
What about you, Kyle?
It's 10 out of 10 for me. My favorite Origins movie, from the Batman to the casting to the villains to the score. It's amazing the way it ends. Phenomenal film. Enjoyed it watching it once again.
We are simpatical. I'm going to go 10 out of 10 as well. It is a great movie, and I really enjoy this movie. All right. Jacob, what do you got coming up on your channel?
Let's see. On my channel, so I got coming up. Different movie-related stuff. I know. I just did Titan AE with Henry Mockingbird the other day. That we just finished the Don Bluth series. We're going to start a series coming up, the two of us. We're going to review the works of legendary visual effects artist Ray Harryhausen. So we're going to cover movies like Jason and the Argonauts and the original Clash of the Titans. But the first one is Mighty Joe Young. No, it's not the Disney film from the 90s. There was an old film that was made before in 1949, Mighty Joe Young, which has stop motion animation visualized by Ray Harryhausen. So I'm excited to watch that.
Should have been what Son of Kong was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we'll be covering that. Let's see. We got Discussing DreamWorks. That's going to be sometime this month. Me and Ryan are covering Captain Underpants. And then
after the Boss Baby, I'll take it.
Yeah. And then I think at some point we're going to do the next Michael Bay one, which is Armageddon.
Which will be my first time ever watching that. So
that's my dad's favorite Michael Bay.
Wait, you just recently watched Armageddon?
No, I've never seen it. So
oh my god, dude!
My dad loves that movie so much. That's my dad's
the music video for
Armageddon is one of the better Michael Bay movies.
Oh, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, back then when he actually cared making good action films.
Well, I mean, he does care more about the action. He just doesn't care about the story.
Exactly.
I think his first 3 movies are probably his best movies: The Rock, Armageddon, and Bad Boys. But I've not seen Bad Boys 2, so I can't.
I love Bad Boys too. That's my favorite.
I like the Island with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett
really
Johansson.
good too. Like,
That was really good.
really
That was
good.
not that
there's
bad.
only like 3 Michael Bay films I don't like. Everything else I love them.
Did you love the Transformers sequels, Jake?
I will say I hated 2 and 5.
2 and 5 are terrible.
4th one was the worst.
I love 4. I
hated
love 4.
Hey, if you loved it, that's great for me. It was an abomination. It was
I also hated.
they should have just called it Age of Extinction.
So what else you got,
Pearl Harbor
Ryan?
was bad too. Oh man.
So what else you got coming up on your channel, Ryan?
Matt should go first. He's next.
Oh, is he next? Sorry, the way it was. Okay, yeah. Matt, what do you?
Hey, Murdoch, why don't you keep your hands on your fucking head so you don't use the fucking meme against me, you dick? But anyway, all joke aside. But anyway, if you want to check out my YouTube channel, it's at MattWyan92. I put up a few movie reviews: Predator, Killer of Killers, Karate Kid Legends, Bring Her Back, the A24 film, and I put up a couple of trailer reactions: Alien Earth and Wicked for Good. So definitely check that out. And I want to give a big thanks for Jake for giving me the new intro. A big thanks to him. I really appreciate it.
Buddy.
It's an awesome intro, by the way.
I appreciate.
Thanks,
thanks.
man.
You're welcome.
Oh, fluffing me up over here. This all right. But so besides, all right, I was gonna do that. Who cares? But now I'm not because you said that. All right. But Ryan, what you got coming up?
He's probably saving it for me, but I'm still I am tired, but I'm awake enough to edit, so I will be dropping the Tron Legacy review tonight.
Who cares?
I knew it.
What did you say?
I'm awake enough. I'm awake enough to edit, so I will be dropping the Tron Legacy review tonight. Earlier today, I dropped my show with Russell Howell and I. We are going back to the horror movie Iceberg. We covered Taika Waititi's What We Do in the Shadows. And shout out to Jake for making the intro for that show. So thank you.
Okay, it's like fuck. You guys are assholes for making me like guilt tripping me, motherfuckers.
No, it's a good intro. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm saying it's a good intro. But I got a lot of stuff coming to the channel in the coming months. Gonna review some How to Train Your Dragon movies by myself, even though Jacob Martin and I already covered a few of them. But since the live action remake's coming out, I wanted to cover them myself. And yeah, lots of plans. Small Talk just ended, but a new show, Talking Gotham, is arising, and that'll be coming down the road, and I'm so looking forward to starting that.
All right. Kyle, what do you got coming up on your channel?
As for me, I got a video dropping tomorrow, and then I got 3 interviews coming up, 3 huge interviews still coming up, and then me and Analyzing Horror Lord will be ranking all my Flanagan stuff at some point, doing a stream with that. So that's gonna be a lot of fun ranking all his stuff. And then I got other things under the pipe I can't talk about yet. So there's a lot of stuff coming for the channel very soon. Then I'll talk to Ryan. Hopefully we can talk about the series we talked about earlier. Hopefully at some point we can do that again.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
For sure. So
all right. Well, I just dropped my review for Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. Spoiler alert, I hated it. Well, I hated it, but I thought it was okay. I didn't love it as much. I still had not watched Predator Badlands. Not Predator Badlands, but Predator. I want to say Into the Badlands, but that's not even the right title either. That's
Into the Badlands. AMC. Only AMC.
Yeah, I was like Predator Into the Badlands. When that movie comes out, I'm going to be calling it Predator Into the Badlands. And I'm just like,
it does have a ring to it, to be honest with you.
Which, it's Predator. What's it called? Predator Killer?
Killer of Killers.
I think
it just dropped on Hulu yesterday.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that tonight. I was gonna watch the original Carrie again, just rewatch it because I wanted to watch it. But then now I might watch Predator Killer of Killers after I'm done watching real time. I dropped this, and then of course we just kitchen talk every Wednesdays, and Small Talk every Tuesday. Well, actually, no, that's shit. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. So we have batmantary will be in the next 2 weeks where we'll be covering the Dark Knight, and then we'll be doing, and then this Friday coming up we'll be doing a Final Destination movie until Bloodlines hits digital, Final Destination 5 watch party, and then after that's wrapped up, we're in 2 weeks we start fucking talking Gotham.
It's late. It's late. It's getting late.
I'm trying to say small talk. I'm not saying do not say small talk. Do not say fucking small talk.
It's a force of habit. We still believe that we're still doing small talk, even though we're done with the show.
To quote Fergie, it's getting late and dark outside. So
are you guys gonna call the series Gotham Talk? I think that'd be a better title.
We already had the intro made. Okay, we can't change it now.
We already have it. Talking Gotham.
Unless you
I
want
went through it.
I was gonna call it Gotham.
Yeah, he was going to call it Talk Them.
Oh.
Or God, we didn't want. We were arguing over the title for like a week. We were like, "What about Goth Talk?" We might try
Goth
Oh, that's a terrible name.
I renamed the group chat the local goth chapter, but nobody liked that.
They called into My Chemical Romance Goth. My Chemical Romance.
And then I changed it to with bat nipples. With bat nipples. But yeah, so that's what we have coming up on the channel. No, we're not doing My Chemical Romance, and we're not adding nipples to the music videos. So just don't expect that. The only time you want to hear My Chemical Romance that bad, ask Jacob Martin to sing it for you on his channel.
Sing the Black Parade.
The Black Parade.
When I was a young boy.
I don't know that song that well, so no.
It's a good one. You should listen to it.
I've heard the song.
It's amazing.
I've only heard that song like 2 times in my life.
Anyway, we are wrapping up now. Thank you so much for joining all of us. Thank you all for coming on. But just remember, before we go, there's one person, one presidential candidate that we always will support, and that man is Al Sharpton himself.
Hit it.
And you know what we say.
Oh,
Sharpton for president, y'all. I'm outie.
Yes.